Good morning, welcome back to Pondsforge International Sports Centre. Thank you for joining us for this morning's session of heats. This is the 16th session of the season. And here is the schedule for this morning's session. We start with women's 100 metres freestyle, then men's 200 metres individual medley, women's mixed classification 100 metres butterfly, women's 400 metres individual medley, men's 50 metres freestyle, women's 50 metres backstroke, men's mixed classification 50 metres freestyle, and we finish this session with women's mixed classification 200 metres individual medley. Our first event of this session, women's 100 metres freestyle then, and we will have 11 heats. And in heat 1, we have 8 swimmers listed. I think only 7 swimmers will be competing. I believe lane 2 is actually going to be empty. So our 7 swimmers: Layla Waring, Maya Orfanidis, Emilia Spence, Viana Safi, Lydia Shipley, Isabel Allen and Macy Bruff. All of the swimmers, as you would have seen there in this heat, are in the 13-14 age group. So the 13-14s swimmers. And here we go then with heat 1. The swimmers here then: Macy Bruff on the far side of the pool for the Newcastle team from Staffordshire. Then it's Isabel Allen for City of Cardiff, Lydia Shipley for Middlesbrough, Viana Safi for City of Salford, Emilia Spence for City of Birmingham, Maya Orfanidis for Chelsea and Westminster, and then closest to us, Layla Waring for West Dorset. 2 lengths of the pool, the freestyle, and Macy Bruff at the top of the picture, out very quickly here, turning first in 28.81. Followed by Viana Safi and Maya Orfanidis. And Maya was only 2/100ths of a second ahead of Lydia Shipley at that turn, and Layla Waring. But out in front, Macy Bruff off to a good start and holding on to that speed as well. Lydia Shipley coming through strongly in this second 50. And now we get into the last 5 metres, and it's going to be Macy Bruff followed by Lydia Shipley. 60.04 for Macy, a new PB. Lydia Shipley 60.59, beating her previous best by 100th of a second. And Emilia Spence 60.65, finishing in 3rd place there. Well swum. We move on to heat number 2. And the swimmers in Heat 2 are Natalie Hebel for Chelsea and Westminster, Madeline Hoole for Warrender Baths, Autumn Claxton for Mount Kelly, Tallulah Rautenbach for Ellesmere College, Maya Dodd for Bristol and South Gloucestershire, Esme Wykes for Millfield, Emily Grace Bentley for Basildon and Phoenix, Olivia Taylor for Leamington Spa, Holly Gents for City of Leicester, and Poppy McCready for Guildford City. Our outside lane's going very well here. First to turn in lane 9, Natalie Hebel, and then in lane 0, Poppy McCready. So the outside lane's first 2 to turn there, and third at that turn was Esme Wykes in lane 4. 4 swimmers in this heat are in the 15 years age category, in lanes 6, 5, 3 and 2, but we'll get some qualifiers from this heat from the 13s and 14s final. Into the last 5 metres then, and our 2 leaders are both in the 13-14 age group. Natalie Hebel first, 59.81. That qualifies for the 13-14s final. Poppy McCready also qualifies with 59.85. Autumn Claxton, 60.19, will also qualify. Everybody else in the 13-14s there will have to wait and see. Macy Bruff from Heat 1 will qualify for the 13s-14s final now that we've had so many swimmers. There are 6 swimmers still to come in the 13-14s age group. And here comes heat 3. Swimmers in heat 3 are India Brown for Plymouth College Aquatics, Eva Chinnock for City of Coventry, Ava Andrekova for Camden Swiss Cottage, Liberty Jones for Taunton Dean, Naomi Rose Conde for Bishop Stortford, Madison Markle for Guildford City, Eleanor Porter for Camden Swiss Cottage, Olivia McCall for Repton, Esme Sledge for City of Birmingham, and Ines Lockett Cantabella for Brompton. Lane 5 leading the way here. Naomi Rose Conde turning first in 28.14 seconds. And Naomi's in the 15-year age group. Second at that turn was Esme Sledge, who is a 16 years swimmer in lane 1, 2 lanes from the bottom of our screens. So Naomi Rose Conde out in front in 5, and I think it looks like Liberty Jones in lane 6 is going with her towards the wall and might even get past in the last 5 metres. It'll be very close between these two as they reach for the wall, and it's Liberty Jones who gets there, 59.65. Naomi Rose Conde 59.71, only 6/100ths of a second between them. We had a joint 6th place there, Eleanor Porter and Madison Markle. And there you go, Liberty Jones, Naomi Rose Conde. Eleanor Porter and Madison Markle, both in the 13s, 14s. I'm not sure if they qualify for their final with that. We'll have to check. On to heat 4. Our swimmers then in heat 4. Abigail McInerney on the far side of the pool for Inverclyde. Then we have the empty lane, lane 8. In 7, it's Ellie McLeod for Woking. Then Charlotte Gower for Rugby. Keris Griffiths for Pembrokeshire County. Amy Langer for Atlantis. Zoe Rogers for Trafford Metro Borough. Maisie Jones for City of Cardiff. Olivia Baring for Brompton. And Rose O'Brien for Portsmouth North Sea. At the turn, first over is Amy Langer in lane 4. 1/10 of a second ahead of Zoe Rogers. And Charlotte Gower third at that turn ahead of Maisie Jones. And not much to choose between these swimmers now as they come down the final 50 metres. We have 3 swimmers here in the 13-14s age group. Ellie McLeod in 7, Amy Langer in 4 and Rose O'Brien in 0. And in lane 3 and 6, the first 2 to touch are Zoe Rogers in 59.13 and Charlotte Gower in 59.29. Third there, Maisie Jones, 59.76 seconds. And you'll see Amy Langer, Rose O'Brien in the 13-14 category there, 5th and 6th. And their times will be on the borderline for the final. They'll have to check. We'll have the full list of qualifiers, of course, on the Aquatics GB website. On to heat 5. Nine swimmers in heat 5, and we have Bella Jones for Royal Tunbridge Wells Monson, Eva Ives for Hatfield, Lucy Parsons for City of Liverpool, Alexandra Nerney for Hatfield, Erin Perman for Exeter City, Alyssa Lowe for City of Leicester. Then we have the empty lane and the 3 swimmers closest to us, Millie Harris for West Norfolk, Amelia Wright for Harrogate District, and Sadie Roberts for Mount Kelly. Very close at the 50-metre mark with Lucy Parsons just ahead of Alexandra Nerney there, then Amelia Wright and Bella Jones. And as they turn for home, Amelia Wright had a good turn in lane 1. Amelia is in the 15 years age group. And as we come now into the last 5 metres then, Amelia Wright will come in first, and then Lucy Parsons second. 58.28 the time then for Amelia Wright. Lucy Parsons 58.87. 6 swimmers under 60 seconds there, and Bella Jones with 60.00 on to heat number 6. Our swimmers in Heat 6 are Erica Shepherd for Leamington Spa, Amy Hempenstall for Guildford City, Ashley Drake for Warren de Baths, Elizabeth Warner for City of Leeds, Michaela Makwabarara for Millfield, Eva Higginbottom for Swindon Dolphin, Ellen Winstanley for City of Hereford, Jessica Gable for Royal Tunbridge Wells Monson, and Heidi Corbett for Guildford City. Lane 0 is empty. Heidi Corbett at the bottom of the picture is in the 13-14 age group. First to turn there was Jessica Gable in lane 2, followed by Amy Hempenstall, Ashley Drake and Eva Higginbottom. And Jessica Gable going very well now in the final 52 lanes from the bottom of the screen. Three lanes furthest from us, Ashley Drake and Amy Hempenstall also going very well over there. And it's going to be Jessica Gable in 58.00 who touches first, followed by Amy Hempenstall. Heidi Corbett 59.01 third, and she qualifies for the 13-14 final with that time. Probably have 15-year-old qualifiers for finals there as well. Elizabeth Warner, well, it's a wait and see time, 61.84, on to heat number 7. Ten swimmers in Heat 7, and they are Caris Croak for Torfin Dolphins Performance, Kiana Kurtzer for Warren de Baths, Madison Emmett for Repton, Isabel Price for City of Birmingham, Tegan Gale for Woking, Edith Price for Mount Kelly, Layla Weatherspoon for Hearts of Midlothian, Asta Maddox for Millfield, Eloise Perrett for Knutsford Amateurs, and Eve Doherty in lane 0 for Repton. And in the middle of the pool, Edith Price and Tegan Gale turning first and second. 28.02 the splits. And turning now for home. Coming through in lane 2, Asta Maddox for Millfield. She's right up there, as too is Kiana Kurtzer, 2 lanes from the top for Warrender in lane 8. We've got 3 16-year-olds in this heat in lanes 6, 4 and 1. Edith Price, one of those, in 57.94 seconds. Second there, Kiana Kurtzer, 58.38. And Caris Croak, third for Torfin Dolphins. On we go to Heat 8. Swimmers in Heat 8 with 9 swimmers racing. Poppy Worthington for Mount Kelly Swimming. Then it's Willow Harrison for City of Sheffield. Zara Kraviec for East Lothian. Tilly Collymore for Millfield. Lily Grover for the Royal Score Wolverhampton. Emily Maxwell for Northumberland and Durham Performance. Gabrielle Idle Beavers for Mount Kelly. Alice Young for Guildford City. And Honor Fox for City of Cardiff. You'll see lane 0 is empty. First to turn, Alice Young. 27.52 seconds ahead of Emily Maxwell. Third of the turn, Tilly Collymore, and then Honor Fox. And Alice Young looking very good here. So it's Alice Young leading the way, and now fighting back in lane 6, Tilly Collymore. And coming through in lane 4, Emily Maxwell. Into the last 15 metres then. And it's going to be Alice Young in lane 2. Ahead of Emily Maxwell and Tilly Collymore, 57.60. Alice Young in the 17s and 18s. But we've got 3 16-year-olds in this heat. Zara Kraviec should qualify with that time 58.51 seconds. On we go to heat number 9. And we have 8 swimmers in heat number 9. In lane 9, that is Ellie Fries for Guildford City. Then we have the empty lane in lane 8. Flavia Camsol for Mount Kelly is in 7. Then it's Megan Higgs, Emma Wood. Megan Higgs for Millfield, Emma Wood for City of Leeds. Erin Little for Mount Kelly. Then empty lane, lane 3. And the 3 swimmers closest to us are Amy Monks for Swansea University, Georgina Pryor for Derby Excel, and Grace Greenhalgh for City of Norwich. Erin Little turning first there in 26.78. She's in the 19s and overs. We have several swimmers here in the 17s and 18s. 8 swimmers in the 17s and 18s were originally entered for this heat. Erin Little in lane 4 is going to come in first, followed by Emma Wood. Erin 55.88. That should be into the 17s and 18s final, I think, with 55.88. Sorry, 55.88. Should get in the 19s and over final. Emma Wood in the 17s and 18s final, I would expect, with 56.46. And Megan Higgs probably qualifying too for the 17s and 18s with 56.94. On to heat 10. And our swimmers in Heat 10 are Hallie Harris for Poole, Elizabeth Land for Newcastle, Shola Robinson for City of Sheffield, Jessica Podger for University of Bath, Annabelle Compton for Wickham District, Evelyn Davis for University of Stirling, Hannah Capron for Repton, Catherine Renfrew for Perth City, Charlotte Berry for City of Sheffield, and Sophie Ben for Mount Kelly. Way out in front then, Evelyn Davis, second at the turn, Sophie Ben. They're in 2 different age groups. Evelyn Davis is in the 19s and over. Sophie Ben in the 17s and 18s. We do have 2 16-year swimmers in this heat. Elizabeth Land, 2 lanes from the top of the picture, and Hannah Capron in lane 3. Evelyn Davis then out in front, and also going well, 3 lanes from the top, Shola Robinson. Into the last 5 metres. And it's Evelyn Davis in 55.34. which I think will get a place in the 19s and over final. Hannah Capron, 56.36. That will definitely qualify for the 16 years final. Annabelle Compton, 56.55. Should also make it to the 17s and 18s. And we have 1 heat left, heat 11. Our swimmers in heat 11 then, 9 of them. Bethan Cook in 9 for City of Birmingham, Hannah Woodcock for Swansea University, Phoebe Cooper for City of Sheffield, Sophie de Groot for Loughborough University, Sky Carter for Basildon and Phoenix. Then we have the empty lane, and the 4 swimmers closest to us are Megan Barnes for Mount Kelly, Isabella Ocaro for Repton, Jessica Smelt for Repton, and Sophie Davis for Millfield. Little to choose between our first 3 swimmers there. Sophie de Groot, Bethan Cook and Sky Carter. And a good turn for Isabella Ocaro, 3 lanes from the bottom. because she's now right up into second place, I would say. Our leader is Sophie de Groot right now. And coming back well, Sky Carter and Phoebe Cooper on this final 50. Into the last 10 metres then. And it's going to be Sophie de Groot in 6th to touch first, ahead of Sky Carter. 56.19 and 56.60 for those two swimmers. We had swimmers in the 17s and 18s age group there as well. Sky Carter 56.6 should qualify for the 17s, 18s final. To get the full list of finalists though, please go to the Aquatics GB website. We don't have time here to get through listing all of the finalists on the stream, I'm afraid. I'm sure you can appreciate we move from one heat to the other very, very quickly, and from one event to the next very quickly as well. So please check on the full list of finalists, because we're going on to men's 200 metres individual medley now. 13 heats to come. 3 swimmers in heat 1, all in the 13s and 14s age group. George Robertson, Daniel Lawrence and Julian O'Croy. So men's 200 metres individual medley, 4 lengths of the pool, 1 on each stroke. We start with butterfly, then it's backstroke, breaststroke and freestyle. You have to touch the wall with your hands when you change stroke, so we'll see the swimmers touching the wall with hands on every turn. And off to a flying start here, Julian O'Croy for Delting Dolphins, 28.71 for Julian, the first leg of butterfly. On to backstroke, and Julian still looking very good here. He may even be increasing his lead. Daniel Lawrence in the middle lane there was born in 2012, so he counts as a 13-year swimmer. George Robertson and Julian O'Croy both born in 2011, so they're 14s, 13s and 14s competing for a place in the same final. And Julian O'Croy turning in 60.39. He swam backstroke there in 34.68, and I think increased his lead by about 3 seconds over everybody else. Now breaststroke, and the breaststroke specialists get their chance to really impress. And it looks like Daniel Lawrence and George Robertson are both going to close the gap on this breaststroke leg. George Robertson in particular increasing his speed, and I wonder if he might even be able to get level with O'Croy by this turn. The final turn into freestyle. What's a breaststroke leg from George Robertson? He does turn first, 150.03. He was more than 6 seconds quicker than O'Croy over that breaststroke leg, and 2 seconds quicker than Daniel Lawrence. But now O'Croy fighting back on the freestyle, and he gets back in the lead. And I think Daniel Lawrence might even be coming back in the middle lane. Well, let's have a look at the PBs then. O'Croy, 223.62 is his lifetime's best, so he's going to break that. And he touches in 221.62. George Robertson gets a PB as well, 223.33. And Daniel Lawrence with a good time, 224.27. Well swum. Julian O'Croy's previous PB beaten by exactly 2 seconds. And George Robertson beating his previous best by 0.2. On to heat 2. We have 8 swimmers competing in Heat 2. Lorcan Walton for City of Bristol, Jason Lee for City of Birmingham, Jack Militis for Tigers of Jersey, Brogan Smith for Glenrothes, Henry Barker for Romsey and Totten, Leo Condy for Paul, Isaac Mendham for Dunmo Atlantis, and Oliver Ratchford for Seven Oaks. Henry Barker leading the way on the butterfly, turning first in 28.59, ahead of Brogan Smith. Third at the turn there was Jason Lee for City of Birmingham, up in lane 7. All of these swimmers are in the 13-14 age group. And we would expect from this heat to get a possible qualifier, probable qualifier for the final for the 13-14's 200 metres individual medley, because we've got 9 13-14 swimmers still to come. So we'll keep an eye on the times for potential finalists. On the breaststroke then, Brogan Smith in lane 5 going very well and surging through. Henry Barker in lane 4 trying to hold on, but Jason Lee also going very well in the white cap, 3 lanes from the top of the picture for City of Birmingham on this breaststroke leg. And then the final turn from breaststroke to freestyle. And it's Brogan Smith out in front. Jason Lee turns second, followed by Leo Condy and Henry Barker. If Brogan Smith swims under 221.6 here, he'll qualify for the 13s, 14s final. So keep an eye on the clock. Brogan Smith. We've got Jason Lee in 7. Lorcan Walton at the top of the picture, finishing very, very strongly here. So Brogan Smith 220.15. That does qualify for the 13s, 14s final. Henry Barker 222.31. That's the second fastest we've seen so far from a 13, 14-year-old. He'll have to wait and see if he qualifies for the final. Lorcan Walton with a very strong freestyle, 222.33. That is the 4th fastest we've seen so far from a 13, 14-year-old. Julian Ocroy went quicker than that in Heat 1. On to Heat 3. In Heat 3, we have 10 swimmers. Harry Osborne for City of Sheffield, Jake Battle for Repton, Charles Phipps for Millfield, Archie Maguire for Northumberland and Durham Performance, Zach Bourne-Whittington for Kingston upon Hull, Adve Bhatia for Hillingdon, Frederick Brown for Guildford City, Zeb Stevenson for Portsmouth Northsea, Mason Amiri for Whitney and District, and Peter Fensom for Croydon Amphibians. Lane 3, Frederick Brown will turn first. Great butterfly leg from him, 28.92. Jake Battle was second at the turn, 2 lanes from the top, 29.07. And then Zeb Stevenson in lane 2. Good turn from Zeb Stevenson. And now on the backstroke, it looks like he is moving into first place. We have 4 swimmers in the 15 years age group here in lanes 5, 4, 3 and 2. Zach Bourne-Whittington, Adve Bhatia, Frederick Brown and Zeb Stevenson. Everybody else in the 13s and 14s. And as we turn now from backstroke to breaststroke, it is Stevenson leading at that turn in 63.60. We had a good backstroke leg from Charles Phipps, 3 lanes from the top of the picture in lane 7. Let's see where we get on this breaststroke leg, who can come through. Going very strongly, Frederick Brown now on the breaststroke, but also in lanes 5 and 6, Zach Bourne-Whittington and Archie Maguire getting right up into the picture. So Frederick Brown in the 15 years age group will turn first. Then Adve Bhatia, Zach Bourne-Whittington, our 3 leaders all in the 15 years. Archie Maguire in lane 6, 4th at that turn, is our leading 13, 14 year swimmer at the moment in this heat. So Frederick Brown looking very strong now in the final 50. He's in the 15 years age group. And he touches first. 2:16.29, our fastest time yet, followed by Zach Bourne-Whittington. Archie Maguire, 2:18.07, definitely qualifies for the 13s, 14s final. With that, Charles Phipps, 2:18.54, will also qualify. Advay Bhatia, 2:18.87. Mason Amiri, 2:19.48. That will get in the 13s, 14s final. Harry Osborne's a wait and see with 2:20.54 for the 13-14 final. On to heat number 4. Nine swimmers swimming in heat 4. We have William Atwood for Fareham Nomads. Then the empty lane. And in lane 7, that's Benjamin Greenslade for Tiverton. Jack Smith for City of Leicester. Robert Shipley for Middlesbrough. Oscar Earthroll for Lancing College. Stan Sawyer for York City. George Bailey for Exeter City. Charlie Carr for Guildford City. And Leon Ginther for Portsmouth North Sea. Stan Sawyer is going to turn first here in lane 3. 27.99 for the butterfly leg. Benjamin Greenslade turning second there in lane 7. Then Oscar Earthroll and George Bailey. Stan Sawyer still out in front, but Oscar Earthroll coming back in lane 4. And in lane 5 going well, Robert Shipley. And also in lane 6 and 7, Jack Smith and Benjamin Greenslade looking good as we turn from backstroke to breaststroke. First at that turn then was Stan Sawyer. Stan was quicker over that backstroke leg than anybody else. Jack Smith in lane 6 swam a good backstroke leg there. Lanes 3 and 4 leading. Stan Sawyer and Oscar Earthroll. And Earthroll, I think, going ahead of Stan Sawyer, but going very, very well in lane 7. That is Benjamin Greenslade on this breaststroke leg for Tiverton. And Benjamin's going to turn first here. Oscar Earthroll in lane 4 is a 13-14 swimmer. Everybody else in this heat in the 15 years age group. As we go to freestyle now, and our 3 leaders are Benjamin Greenslade in 7, Robert Shipley in 5, and Oscar Earthroll in 4. And Robert Shipley's got the stronger finish, I think, in the white cap in lane 5. Benjamin Greenslade's going with him, 2 15-year-old swimmers here. And Robert Shipley, 2:14.76. That's the fastest time we've seen in any of the heats so far. Oscar Earthroll, 2:15.75, qualifies as our fastest 13-14 swimmer so far, but he will definitely get in the 13-14 final with that time. We still have 10 swimmers to come in the 15 years age group, so anybody who swims faster than 2:14.76 in the 15 years age group in the coming heats will qualify for the final. Here comes heat 5. Our 10 swimmers in heat 5 are Joseph Augustin for Worcester, Andrew Hunter for Cleethorpes and District, Connor Aspinall for East Lothian, Leo Talbot for Bolton Metro, Finlay Bennett for South Lanarkshire, Owen Wilson for Ramsbottom, Conan Swinney for Northumberland and Durham Performance, Maximus Major for City of Newport, Joseph Bale for Mount Kelly, and Jacob Bacon for City of Peterborough. 2 leaders here in lanes 2 and 0 at the turn, Maximus Major and Jacob Bacon. Third at the turn on the far side of the pool, that was Joseph Augustin, followed by Andrew Hunter and Connor Aspinall at that turn. Swimmers in this heat, well, we have 4 in the 15-year age group. Joseph Agustin at the top of the picture in 9, Leo Talbot in 6, Maximus Major in 2, and Jacob Bagan nearest to us in 0. 1:13.14 swimmer, 2 lanes from the bottom of the picture, that's Joseph Bale. Back to breast then, Connor Aspinall swimming the quickest on that backstroke leg by quite some distance. I think Owen Wilson swam very quickly as well in lane 4 on the backstroke too. That was a good backstroke leg for Owen in lane 4. And now the breaststroke swimmers get their chance to shine. And who's going to come through? Right at the top of the picture is Joseph Agustin, who is really blasting this breaststroke leg. This is brilliant from Joseph Agustin. He is going to turn first or second with Joseph Bale. Not much between them, 1/10 of a second. Joseph Bale, remember, at the bottom of our picture, a 13s/14s swimmer. So Joseph Bale nearest to us, going well. On the far side, Joseph Agustin, who had that brilliant breaststroke leg. And now coming through in lane 6, Leo Talbot with a strong finish. In lane 5, Finley Bennett going well. And in 7, Connor Aspinall as well. And I think Leo Talbot's going to finish the stronger of anyone here. Leo is in the 15 years age group and he touches first. 2:14.38, our fastest time so far. So Leo's into the 15 years final. Joseph Agustin will qualify for the 15 years final with 2:15.06. And look at that in 5th place, Joseph Bale, 2:16.24. That's our second quickest 13-14 swimmers so far, and definitely qualifies for his final with 2 swimmers to come. On we go to heat 6. Our 10 swimmers here are Alfie Owen for Wigan Best, Ethan Collins for Stirling, Samuel Hall for Guildford City, Frank Lamb for City of Peterborough, Martin Vermaat for Camden Swiss Cottage, Finley Bruce for Perth City, Hayden Sanders for Bromley, Joshua Burkill for Sutton and Cheam, Yassin Kamel for Swansea University, and Leroy Shee for City of Birmingham. Lane 3 here, Hayden Sanders is in the 13-14 age group, and the fastest entrant in the 13-14 age group based on the times at regionals and in the qualification period earlier this year. So leader of the turn there was Finley Bruce, who's in the 16-year age group. Second was Alfie Owen, also a 16 years swimmer. And going well now on the backstroke in lane 6, that is Frank Lamb. So as we come to the turn, this is backstroke into breaststroke. And it's lane 4, Finley Bruce, who turns first. Second at the turn there was Frank Lamb. And I think Frank had the fastest backstroke leg of anybody. Now 3 leaders on the far side of the pool, Alfie Owen. Then in lane 6, that's Frank Lamb, and lane 4, Finley Bruce. Coming up into 4th right now, 3 lanes from the bottom of the picture, that's Joshua Burkill. And in lane 7 going well there, that is Samuel Hall. Return from breaststroke to freestyle, and Frank Lamb will be in the lead here, followed by Alfie Owen and Finley Bruce. Our 3 leaders are all in the 16 years age group. We've got 2 15 year swimmers in this. Martin Vermaat in 5 and Leroy Shee in lane 0. And also remember in lane 3, Hayden Sanders is going very well in the 13s and 14s. First to the wall is Frank Lamb, 2:11.38 seconds. And Alfie Owen, 2:13.05. Hayden Sanders, 2:13.18 will qualify fastest for the 13-14s final. Martin Vermaat was our quickest 15-year-old there with 2:15.47. That will probably qualify for the 15s final, but it's not absolutely confirmed yet. We've still got 5 swimmers to come in that age group. On we go to heat 7. Starter asking the swimmers to stand down. Just having an announcement before this heat begins. So, no concerns over the start. We are now ready to go. Swimmers then in heat 7 are Benjamin Pedergill for Camden Swiss Cottage, Jeremiah Carnegie for Whitgift, Casper Wilk for Mount Kelly, Henry Shepherd for Bromley, Gregor Ross for City of Glasgow, Aubrey Armada Bennett for Royal Tunbridge Wells Monson, Harry Pearce for Mount Kelly, Max Higgins for Reeds, Oscar Duval for Biddulph, and James Biddick for Oakhampton Otters. Not much to choose at all between our first 4 at the turn there. That was Oscar Duval, Aubrey Armada Bennett, Gregor Ross and Henry Shepherd. In this heat, we have 3 swimmers in the 15 years age group. James Biddick at the bottom of the screen in lane 0. And then on the far side, Benjamin Pedergill in lane 9. And also in lane 6, Henry Shepherd. So we'll keep an eye on whether our 15-year-olds qualify for their final here. And in lane 1 and lane 8, Oscar Duval and Jeremiah Carnegie are both in the 16 years age group. Our leader then in lane 4, Aubrey Armada Bennett, looking good on this breaststroke. And also looking good in lane 6, Henry Shepherd coming through on the breaststroke leg. Gregor Ross in lane 5, keeping up with them as well. And Casper Wilk looking good on the breaststroke. Harry Pearce coming right through too for Mount Kelly. So those 5 swimmers out in front as we go to freestyle. Armada Bennett, Ross, Shepherd, Pearce and Wilk. The 5 swimmers out in front. So our leader, Aubrey Armada Bennett, is in the 17s and 18s. Henry Shepherd in second, and actually going through now to first is a 15 years swimmer. To get in the 15 years final, you have to swim under 2:16 at the moment, and he definitely qualifies with that time. 2:11.72. Aubrey Armada Bennett, 2:13.06. Our 3rd fastest time in any heat so far. 4th fastest time in any heat so far. And 3rd there, Harry Pearce. So Henry Shepherd qualifies for the 15s final. Benjamin Pedergill also qualifies for the 15s final. James Biddick, 2:15.04, also qualifying for the 15 years final with their times. On to heat 8. Our swimmers in heat 8 are Harry Cox for Thanet, Oscar Winterburn for Team Ipswich, Benjamin Roberts for Grantham, Harry Robinson for Reeds, Toby Bullock for Midlothian, Kenzie McLean for Perth City, Jose Rodriguez for Millfield, Benjamin Dale Woods for Thirsk White Horse, Theo Bruntlett for Nuneaton and Bedworth, and Thomas Woofenden for City of Leeds. First at the turn after butterfly, Benjamin Dale Wood, 27.78 seconds. Followed in there by Kenzie McLean, Benjamin Roberts and Thomas Woofenden. We have 4 swimmers in the 16 years age group here. Benjamin Roberts in 7, Jose Rodriguez in 3, and the 2 swimmers closest to us, Theo Bruntlett and Thomas Woofenden. 1 15-year swimmer in lane 6, Harry Robinson. And Harry was the fastest 15-year-old in the qualifying period earlier this year at this event. Back to Brest, it's Kenzie McLean leading, then Harry Cox, Oscar Winterburn and Jose Rodriguez. Now the breaststroke leg where things change and our breaststroke swimmers come to the fore. And going well still, Kenzie McLean, but Jose Rodriguez in 3 is surging through there. So it's Jose Rodriguez, and look at the top of the picture as well, Harry Cox going well too. First to turn then, Jose Rodriguez, one of our 16-year-old swimmers in this heat. Second at the turn was Harry Cox, who's in the 17s and 18s age group. Harry Robinson at that turn was 4th, our 15-year-old swimmer in this heat, swimming in lane 6. So swimming towards the wall then, and it's going to be Jose Rodriguez for Millfield in lane 3 in a time of 2:09.21. That will get into the final for Jose Rodriguez for sure in the 16 years age group. Harry Robinson finished 6th there. He's a 15-year-old. And 2:13.10 gets him into the 15-year final as our second fastest qualifier. On to heat number 9. We have 9 swimmers in heat 9. Lucas Lovell for Portsmouth Northsea on the far side of the pool. Then it's Jack Bignell for Northampton. Jacob Barnett for Northumberland and Durham Performance. Andrew Clavis for Warrington Warriors. Lane 5 is empty. Then it's Frederick Beasley for Poole. Jack Bamborough for City of Cardiff. Hugh Mason-Williams for City of Birmingham. Isaac Thompson for Mount Kelly. And James Page for Millfield. Hugh Mason-Williams turning first there. He's a 17s and 18s swimmer. We have 2 16-year-olds in this heat. Ross Edwards in lane 5 and Lucas Lovell on the far side in lane 9. Everybody else in this heat swimming in the 17s and 18s age group. Hugh Mason-Williams then, one of our 17-18 swimmer leading, but going very well. Isaac Thompson in lane 1 on this backstroke leg. And I think Isaac Thompson might actually get to this turn from back to breast first. He does. 61.02. Jack Bignell was 3rd at that turn. He had a good backstroke leg there. 2 lanes from the top of the picture in lane 8. Hugh Mason-Williams now on the breaststroke is leading. Getting away from Isaac Thompson, who had that good backstroke leg. And in lane 6 going well now, Andrew Clavis. Andrew Clavis, I would say, going faster than anyone else right now on this breaststroke. So Clavis and Mason-Williams turning first and second. Clavis was the quickest breaststroker there. Frederick Beasley had a good breaststroke leg in lane 4 to get back up into 3rd place. But it's Hugh Mason-Williams leading from Andrew Clavis. They are both 17-18 swimmers, remember. One 16-year swimmer, Lucas Lovell on the far side. Into the wall we come then. It's Mason-Williams first, 2:09.41. Second then with Andrew Clavis, 2:09.45. Our 16-year-old swimmer there, Lucas Lovell, 2:12.72. I think that qualifies for the 16 years final, but we'll have to check to be absolutely certain. On to heat 10. And in Heat 10, we have Oliver Giddett for Swansea University, Oliver Murray for Millfield, Louis Thorne for City of Bristol, Raheel Mahmood for Newham and University of East London, Ben Uff for Crawley, James Boddy for Garriock, William Viney for City of Birmingham, Logan van der Meulen for Stirling, Henry Norman for Bromley, and Fergus Thompson for Mount Kelly. We're into the last 3 heats, so there's a real mixture of the top 30 swimmers in these heats. First at the turn there was Logan van der Meulen in the 17 and 18 age group. William Viney, who was second at that turn, is also a 17s, 18s swimmer. Have Oliver Murray in lane 8 in the 16-year age group. And everyone else here, 17s and 18s. First at the turn was Fergus Thompson with a brilliant backstroke leg in lane 0. Ahead of Henry Norman. Louis Thorne in lane 7. Actually had a good backstroke leg as well there to bring himself up among this leading group. And now on breaststroke going very well. Ben Uff in lane 5 in the middle of the pool. Fergus Thompson still going well in lane 0, but I think Ben Uff probably had the best breaststroke of anyone there, turning in 137.80. Good breaststroke legs from Oliver Murray, 2 lanes from the top, and Fergus Thompson at the bottom of the pool. Those 3 were the fastest over breaststroke: Ben Uff, Oliver Murray and Fergus Thompson. And now on the freestyle, Ben Uff coming through. We still have 2 heats to come, so difficult to tell when it comes to 17s and 18s at this stage whether times qualify for finals. But Ben Uff, 2:07.80, sets the fastest time by anyone so far. So that really should see him through to the 17s and 18s final. Second there, Fergus Thompson, 2:09.52. I would think that qualifies as well, but it's a wait and see to be absolutely sure. Our 16-year-old swimmer there, Oliver Murray, 2:12.16. And that's our fastest 16 years time so far, and qualifies for the 16 years final. On to heat 11, 3 heats to come. Our swimmers here are Joe Jennings for Leander, Jake Chesworth for Maxwell, Benjamin Twynham for University of Surrey, Llewellyn Porter for Camden Swiss Cottage, Andrew Bertoli for University of Stirling, David Annis, also University of Stirling, Simon Robson for York City Baths, Ben Lau for City of Birmingham, Jamie Gray for Plymouth College Aquatics, and Finlay Richardson for Guildford City. Andrew Bertoli turning first in lane 5 in 25.70, followed by David Annis and then Llewellyn Porter. Our first 2 at the turn in the 19s and over category. Llewellyn Porter is swimming in the 17s and 18s age group. Coming through in 4th place at the moment, Simon Robson for York City Baths, who's a 19s and over swimmer, and Ben Lau, also a 19s and over. Finlay Richardson in lane 0, closest to us. He is a 16 years swimmer. 2 leaders then, David Annis in 4 and Andrew Bertoli in lane 5 as we go to the breaststroke. And we shake things up really on the breaststroke leg in the individual medley. Andrew Bertoli coming through now in lane 5. David Annis keeping with him. 3 lanes from the top there. Ben Twynham going well. And Simon Robson's up in 3rd now in lane 3 after this breaststroke leg. So it's Bertoli, Annis and then Robson. Robson was by far the quickest on that breaststroke leg. Ben Lau in lane 2 also had a good breaststroke leg, turning 5th there. So our 2 leaders, Andrew Bertoli in 5 and David Annis in 4. Then it's Simon Robson in lane 3. They're all 19 years and over swimmers. Our fastest time so far 209.21. And we're well inside that. David Annis with 203.90. Followed by Andrew Bertoli and Simon Robson. Benjamin Twynham fourth there with 206.41. Our quickest 17-18 swimmer there was Llewellyn Porter in sixth place. And Llewellyn's time, 206.83. That's the fastest 16-year-old so far. He's definitely qualified for the 16s final with that. Heat 12, 2 heats left. Swimmers then in Heat 12. Edward Ormsby for City of Cambridge, Samuel Sutcliffe for Ramsbottom, Cameron Rapson for University of Stirling, Finley Davis for University of Stirling, Luke Ibbison for Loughborough University, Charlie Hutchison for Loughborough University, Edward Markle Whittles for Chelsea and Westminster, Vadim Bosk for Loughborough University, Wilfred Lee for Millfield, and Jamie Steadman for Bristol and South Gloucestershire. First at the turn there was Luke Ibbison, a 19s and over swimmer. Second, Edward Markle Whittles, also 19s and over. Swimmers in this heat. We have one 16-year swimmer, 2 lanes from the bottom, Wilfred Lee. And in the 2 outside lanes, 17 and 18 swimmers, Edward Ormsby at the top of the picture in 9 and Jamie Steadman at the bottom in lane 0. Everyone else in the 19s and overs. Finley Davis turning first there in lane 6 onto breaststroke, followed by Luke Ibbison. Wilfred Lee was 7th there, our 16-year swimmer. And on the outside lanes, our 17s and 18s, Edward Ormsby turning just ahead of Jamie Steadman. Keep an eye on those swimmers because they're trying to get in their finals. So going well now on breaststroke. In lane 5, Luke Ibbison's going to turn to freestyle first, followed by Edward Markle Whittles. Very good swim from Cameron Rapson on the breaststroke. Cameron was the 3rd fastest there on breaststroke. And Edward Ormsby at the top of the picture in the 17-18s category. He had a very good breaststroke leg there as well. So swimming into the wall, and we start looking at the times and thinking about qualification places for finals. First to the wall then, in 2:04.04 seconds, Luke Ibbison, followed by Edward Markle Whittles, and then Cameron Rapson. Remember, a 16-year-old swimmer in there, Wilfred Lee, 2:06.57. He's the fastest qualifier so far for the 16 years final. With that time, he definitely qualifies. In the 17s and 18s there, Edward Ormsby and Jamie Steadman, 2:09 and 2:18. Well, 2:09.52 is a borderline time for the final. And we'll find out everything else when we have this, our final heat 13. And in Heat 13 we have Benjamin Guthrie for City of Milton Keynes, Alexei Denisov for Plymouth College Aquatics, Angus Allison for University of Stirling, Aidan Orpin for Sutton and Cheam, Toby Godsell for Millfield, Matthew Ward for Bath Performance Centre, Moritz Baumgartner for Loughborough University, Pierce Greening for University of Stirling, John Britton for Ealing, and Lachlan Beasley for City of Manchester Aquatics. Matthew Ward turning first, 26.29 on butterfly, with Toby Godsell not far behind. And in this final heat we have 5 swimmers in the 17s and 18s. They are Benjamin Guthrie in 9, Alexei Denisov in 8, Aidan Orpin in 6, Toby Godsell in 5, and Lachlan Beasley in lane 0. Everybody else in the 19s and overs. Matthew Ward then, 56.79 at the turn, increasing his lead over Toby Godsell on that backstroke leg. Aidan Orpin in lane 6 had a good backstroke leg there. And now on the breaststroke, and Matthew Ward looks like he is increasing his lead over the rest of the fields. So no chance of anybody fighting their way back and closing the gap. Looking very good here as we turn from breast to freestyle. Second at the turn, Toby Godsell. Angus Allison in lane 7 had a brilliant breaststroke there, up to third. And I tell you, John Britton, 2 lanes from the bottom. I know he was 6th at the turn, but he had a very fast breaststroke leg. Out of our picture at the moment, but 2 lanes from the bottom. John Britton had a good breaststroke leg there. So the fastest time we've seen so far is 2:03.9. And Matthew Wards will secure lane 4 in the 19s and over final with that 2:02.55, the fastest performance in the 13 heats. Toby Godsell, 2:07.36 in second place there. And that is the fastest time in the 17s and 18s, so qualifies for the final comfortably. He'll have lane 4 in his final as well. Under 2:09.51 gets you in the 17s, 18s final. Under 2:05.4 gets you in the 19s and overs final. So hopefully that gives you an idea of qualifiers. Well done there, everyone, in the men's 200 metres individual medley. Our 2 fastest swimmers there will have lane 4 in their respective finals. Our next event is women's mixed classification 100 metres butterfly. We have 2 heats. A total of 12 swimmers competing. 3 in heat number 1, and they are all S9 swimmers here. Evie Lambert, Brooklyn Hale and Megan Willis. It's 2 lengths of the pool on butterfly. Only 2 swimmers competing, so Evie Lambert not swimming. So it's Megan Willis for Torfin Dolphins Performance and Brooklyn Hale for Cockermouth. Megan is in the white cap and Brooklyn is in the gold cap. So Megan is an 18-year-old swimmer and Brooklyn only 15. At the halfway turn, it's Megan in 34.40, then Brooklyn in 35.37. With just over 25 metres left then. Brooklyn Hale not far behind, but it's Megan Willis who leads. Both of these swimmers have personal bests of 1 minute and 16 seconds. So I wonder if we can get under that here. Let's see. 1 minute 16 the target for a PB for both of our swimmers. It's going to be very close to that. 1:15.75 PB for Megan Willis. Brooklyn Hale 1:16.41. Not far behind her PB. And remember, it's the points totals that will qualify for finals. So 637 for Megan Willis and 621 for Brooklyn Hale. And if they are among the top 10 point scores, they will qualify for the final and get another chance to swim the event in this evening's session. Now we have 9 swimmers, I think, in heat 2. So that guarantees that Megan Willis will qualify for the final with only 9 more swimmers to come. And Brooklyn Hale will wait and see if 621 qualifies as well. So there are our 9 swimmers for heat 2, the fastest heat. Our swimmers in Heat 2 then, Olivia Newman-Baronius for Maxwell, Poppy Maskill for Manchester Performance Centre, Faye Rogers for University of Aberdeen, Callie-Ann Warrington for Royal Tunbridge Wells Monson, Georgia Sheffield for Bolton Metro, Saskia Webb for Pembrokeshire County, Grace Robinson for City of Manchester Aquatics, Brock Whiston for London Disability, and Sienna Oxby for Stockport Metro. And remember, these championships count as part of the selection process and qualification process for the World Para Swimming Championships, which come up in Singapore in 2 months' time in September. So there are possibilities for swimmers to swim consideration times in this competition. The team will be announced by the selectors on Monday. Our leader here is Olivia Newman-Baronius. And Olivia is in the S14 classification. Olivia touching first in 104.05. 951 points. Faye Rogers has just scored 1,046 points for 104.49. Faye swimming in the S10 category. 1,000 points means that's quicker than the fastest time that was set in the world over the previous 3 years. So that really is an incredible swim for Faye Rogers. It puts her in first place there. All 9 of our swimmers here with 642 points and above qualify for the final. And Megan Willis from Heat 1 will be in the final as well. Brooklyn Howe just misses out. She had 621 points. So all of 9 swimmers there qualifying for the final. Well done. Our next event will be women's 400 metres individual medley. There will be a swim-off at the end of this heat session. We'll have swimmers competing for a place in the 13-14 100 metre freestyle final. We had a tie for 10th place in the heats. So Esme Wykes and Rose O'Brien will be coming back to swim off for the final place in the women's 100 metres freestyle for 13s and 14s final. That will come up at the end of this final session. So that's one race to add to our schedule this morning. We go on then to the women's 400 metres individual medley. 2 lengths of the pool of each stroke. 11 heats to come. Here is Heat 1. Our swimmers in Heat 1. Eve Hibbert in lane 9. Then we have the empty lane. It's Florrie Spice of City of Bristol in 7. Orna Lett for Northampton Swimming Club. Phoebe Weatherall for Doncaster Darts. Olivia Knox for Wigan Best. Emma Hill for Teddington. Naomi Broadley for City of Wakefield. Annabelle Blackbird for Repton. And India Brown for Plymouth College Aquatics. So it's 2 lengths of each stroke. You can do the normal turn at the right end of the pool for your stroke. So we will see backstroke tumble turn, swimmers onto their stomachs. But when you change strokes, you have to touch the wall with your hands before any other part of the body. So we won't have tumble turns. You do see some flip turns, and we'll see those later from backstroke to breaststroke. Going well on the far side, Eve Hibberts for City of Sheffield. And in lane 5 then, Phoebe Weatherill. And I think Phoebe's going to touch first from fly to back. Third at the turn is Naomi Broadley for City of Wakefield. And on backstroke then, it looks like Naomi Broadley's going very strongly, 3 lengths from the bottom of the screen. Phoebe Weatherill still looking strong in the middle of the pool, but Orna Lett's coming through now on backstroke in lane 6, and Eve Hibbert on the far side of the pool still going strong as well. The swimmers in this heat, a mixture of 13-14 swimmers. They are in lanes 4 and 3, Olivia Knox and Emma Hill, and everybody else in the 15 years age group. Our leader is Naomi Broadley. She's a 15 years swimmer. Looking very strong at this point. And look at lane 4 here. Olivia Knox is swimming very well. And she's going to get up into at least second place, I think, when we turn from backstroke to breaststroke. So Olivia Knox going the quickest of everyone, I think, on the 100 metres backstroke. So everybody touches with their hand as they switch from back to breast. Some do a tumble turn, some do a back flip, some just spin round on their sides. The key is you must still be on your back when your hand touches the wall. And then you can do pretty much whatever you want until you push off. And when your feet leave the wall, you must be on your stomach, or at least more on your front than on your back. So our leader now, Naomi Broadley, with Eve Hibbert on the far side going well on the breaststroke. Now 13, 14 swimmers, remember, in lanes 3 and 4, and Olivia Knox in 4 is leading of those two. Olivia looks like she might be 4th at this turn. Naomi Broadley turning first then, 3:15.28. But Florrie Spicer turning third in lane 7, 3 lanes from the top, is actually going quicker than anyone else on breaststroke at the moment. Eve Hibbert's breaststroke is pretty strong here, but keep your eye on Florrie Spicer there. 3 lanes from the top. She's third, and she's certainly closing the gap on Naomi Broadley. Eve Hibbert probably going second quickest on the breaststroke at the moment. Eve Hibbert's going to turn to freestyle first, followed by Naomi Broadley and Florrie Spicer. And Eve Hibbert's second 50 on the breaststroke there was really excellent. She pulled away from everybody else. So our leader then, Eve Hibbert. Second at the moment, Naomi Broadley. But Florrie Spicer, City of Bristol in lane 7, is going very well too. Olivia Knox in lane 4 is leading our 13-14 swimmers, and she is currently in 5th place. Final turn then. Eve Hibbert leading, then Florrie Spicer, Naomi Broadley, Orna Lett 4th at the turn, then Olivia Knox. Phoebe Wetherill was 6th, Emma Hill 7th at that turn, then India Brown, Annabelle Blackbird. That's the order as we come towards the finish here on Heat 1 of women's 400 metres individual medley. Eve Hibbert's going to set our fastest time. Florrie Spicer's getting close. Is Florrie Spicer actually going to get there? She is. Well, what a great finish. 5:14.67. And that was a great swim. 3-second PB for Florrie Spicer. Eve Hibbert got a 3-second PB as well, out in lane 9. Naomi Broadley, 5:17.04 PB as well. 4th place there was Orna Lett, 5:18.14. And Olivia Knox setting the time to beat for our 13-14 swimmers with 5:19.21. On to Heat 2. And in Heat 2, we have Rin Mayo for Barnet Copthall, Autumn Claxton for Mount Kelly, Emily Taburn for Warrington Warriors, Harriet Smith for Bristol and South Gloucestershire, Amy Jones for Leatherhead, Francesca Hallam-Stott for Grantham, Tia Aitken for University of Aberdeen Performance, Ava Smith for Garriock, Isabel Mullock for Northumberland and Durham Performance, and another Northumberland and Durham Performance swimmer in lane 0, that is Scarlett Capaldi. We have swimmers in the 13-14 age group here. Rin Mayo in 9, Autumn Claxton in 8, and Ava Smith in lane 2. In the 15 years age group, in lane 7, Emily Taburn. Amy Jones in 5. And on the near side, Scarlett Capaldi. Out in front at the moment, then Tia Aitken. She's in 17-18s age group. And then Harriet Smith also in the 17s and 18s. And on the far side, Rin Mayo in the 13s and 14s. So we turn from fly to back. Tia Aitken, 69.07. Then Rin Mayo and Scarlett Capaldi. Our first three in 3 different age categories. Coming through strongly now, Amy Jones on the backstroke in lane 5, looking very good. Moving up into first place. Harriet Smith's going pretty well in lane 6 too. It's going to be Amy Jones who has pushed all the way through here to turn first. 148.85. And over that last 50 of backstroke, Amy Jones was, 2 seconds quicker than anyone else in the pool? So she is going to extend this lead, you'd expect, over backstroke. Amy in the 15-year age group going very well indeed. She's going to have a huge lead turning into breaststroke. What a brilliant backstroke leg this is. Amy Jones surging past everyone else. So we turn from back to breast, touch with your hand first. And, she was even quicker on the second length of backstroke than she was on the first. Again, 2 seconds quicker than anyone else. Emily Taburn up to third now, had a pretty good backstroke leg. So let's see what changes on breaststroke. 2 lanes from the bottom. Isabel Mullock looking good on this breaststroke now. She's coming up. And in lanes 6 and 7, Harriet Smith and Emily Taburn. Long gliding strokes here in heat 2 of the women's 400 metres individual medley. And Isabel Mullock certainly has closed the gap over the first 50 of breaststroke. Isabel Mullock there was more than 5 seconds quicker than Amy Jones. Isabel Mullock's breaststroke quicker than anyone else in the pool. Emily Taburn's breaststroke pretty good as well. But Isabel Mullock is going to have the lead when we turn from breaststroke to freestyle, the way things are going. So we had the brilliant backstroke leg from Amy Jones. Now we've got the brilliant breaststroke leg from Isabel Mullock. Mullock will turn in first place then. How much of a lead will she have as she touches the wall here? 358.35. So the lead for Isabel is almost 4 seconds over Emily Taburn, Amy Jones and Harriet Smith. We have Ava Smith in the 13s, 14s, who turned 5th there. Rin Mayo and Autumn Claxton also in the 13, 14s were 9th and 10th as we turn to freestyle. So Ava Smith for Garriott, 3 names from the bottom in the 13, 14s. She'll be pushing for a place in her final with her swim here. She's 5th at the moment. Isabel Mullock though leading, 4:35.82 at that turn. 3.5 seconds ahead of everybody else. And it's going to be Isabel Mullock, surely, who will set our fastest time so far. Into the last 25. Emily Taburn is going very well in second place for Warrington Warriors, 3 lanes from the top. And Taburn is actually closing in, but Isabel Mullock is going to touch first. 5:12.66, our fastest time so far. Emily Taburn with our second fastest time so far, 5:13.84. So Isabel Mullock with a PB of 5:12.66. Emily Taburn also with a PB there. Harriet Smith, 5:15.21, finishing in third place. Ava Smith in fourth, 5:15.97. And we'll wait to see if that qualifies for the 13-14 final. I think it probably will. On to heat 3. 9 swimmers will swim in this heat. Lane 9 is empty. We have 8 swimmers. Lane 0 also empty then. So the swimmers who are competing on the far side of the pool, that's Samantha Taylor for York City Baths, Emily England Hall for City of Leeds, Chloe Grosvenor for City of Birmingham, Jessica Hill for Tiverton, Joanne Andrews for Ellesmere College Swimming Academy, Isabella Hoare for Worcester, Amy Fielding for Camden Swiss Cottage, and Olivia Quiller for Royal Tunbridge Wells Monson. Our leader after 50 metres butterfly is Joanne Andrews, who swims in the 15 years age group. And second at the turn there was Isabella Hoare in a time of 32.03. Lane 4, Joanne Andrews, lane 3, Isabella Hoare, and then in lane 6, Chloe Grosvenor for City of Birmingham. And the 2 lanes furthest from us here going well, Samantha Taylor in 8 and Emily England Hall in 7. Emily England Hall in lane 7, who's going to turn 4th here, is a 13-year-old swimmer born in 2012. In fact, she won't be 13 until November. So Emily England Hall is 12 years old. 12 and 2/3, I guess we'd say. And she's going very well indeed in lane 7. Emily could well qualify for the 13s, 14s final if she stays among the leaders here. First to turn halfway through the backstroke leg, Joanne Andrews, then Chloe Grosvenor and Isabella Hoare. Emily England Hall was 4th at that turn. Jessica Hill is swimming the quickest of the backstrokers here in lane 5. She was 6th at that last turn, but she's making ground on everybody. She's in the blue cap in the middle of the pool, lane 5. So that's Jessica Hill coming through. She's a 15 years swimmer. There are 3 13-14 swimmers in this heat. Samantha Taylor and Emily England Hall, the 2 swimmers furthest from us, and closest to us, Olivia Quiller. There are 4 15-year-olds. Chloe Grosvenor, Jessica Hill, Joanne Andrews and Amy Fielding. So Joanne Andrews, our leader, a 15-year swimmer. Chloe Grosvenor second at the turn, also a 15-year swimmer. And Amy Fielding, who was third, also a 15 years swimmer. Jessica Hill in lane 5, who turned 6th, remember, 75 metres ago. Now one of this leading group of 5. And Emily England Hall, 12 years old, still in that leading group of 5 as well. We turn halfway through the breaststroke leg with Joanne Andrews still leading, but Chloe Grosvenor took more than a second off that lead over the first 50 of breaststroke. Olivia Quiller in lane 1 is swimming quicker than anyone else on breaststroke at the moment. She was 6th at that turn. Olivia Quiller, the closest swimmer to us, 2 lanes from the bottom of the picture. You can't see her at the moment, but she is making ground on everyone else in the pool on breaststroke right now. Our leader then is Chloe Grosvenor in lane 6, ahead of Joanne Andrews. And I think Emily England Hall may be 3rd right now. It's between Emily and Olivia Quiller, and we know Olivia Quiller is having a brilliant breaststroke as she's coming through to 3rd. Look at this. First to turn then, Chloe Grosvenor. Second of that turn was Joanne Andrews, and then Olivia Quiller. Quiller in 3rd. There are 13-14 swimmer, just like Emily England Hall, who was 4th at the turn, but England Hall now is up to 3rd place as we go into the final 100 metres of freestyle. Chloe Grosvenor is going to turn first here, 4:33.13. Chloe Grosvenor getting away. The fastest swimmer on the freestyle at the moment is Emily England Hall in lane 3. So she is getting away from Amy Fielding, who was 4th at that turn. So Emily England Hall in 3rd at the moment, actually swimming faster than anyone else right now on freestyle. 12 years old and going very, very well indeed there, Emily England Hall. First to finish is going to be Chloe Grosvenor, 5:08.83. Chloe will qualify for the 15 years final with that time, I'm sure. Joanne Andrews will qualify for the 15 years final with 5:09.282. I'm absolutely sure of that. Emily England Hall, 5:11.80. Well, she will definitely be in the final for 13-14 swimmers. And Amy Fielding, 5:14.56. You'll have to wait and see for the 15s final with that time. Olivia Quiller will also have to wait and see for 13-14 final with 5:16.80. On we go to heat number 4. And you'll see we've got 13-14 swimmers in this heat. So we'll keep our eye on their times. Here we go, heat 4. And 9 swimmers competing here in heat 2. It's Tyler J. Thomas for, I said heat 2, it's heat 4, excuse me. Tyler J. Thomas for Medway Maritime, Lily Tappan for Corby, Jemima Da Silva for Camden Swiss Cottage, Alice Harper for City of Glasgow, Lucy Fielding for Camden Swiss Cottage, Katie Wan for Camden Swiss Cottage, Summer Everson for Watford, and then we have the empty lane. The 2 swimmers closest to us are Ellen Winstanley for City of Hereford and Sadie Hunter for City of Peterborough. First at the turn in lane 0 there was Sadie Hunter. And she's swimming away from everybody else on this butterfly leg. In lane 3, Summer Everson looks like she's in 2nd place, and in lane 1, Ellen Winstanley in 3rd. On the far side of the pool, Tyler J. Thomas is a 13-14 swimmer. Jemima Da Silva, 3 lanes down from the top, is also a 13-14 swimmer. Sadie Hunter turning first then, with almost a 4-second lead over everybody else going into backstroke. So that's a very, very strong butterfly leg from Sadie Hunter. Sadie, one of 2 swimmers in the 17 years age group in this heat. Lucy Fielding is the other one in lane 5. We have 3 16 years swimmers. Katie Wan in 4, Summer Everson in 3, and Ellen Winstanley in lane 1. Alice Harper's our only 15 years swimmer in this heat. She's in lane 6. Still leading Sadie Hunter, but the lead now down to 3.5 seconds. So Sam Everson in 2nd. Did take a little off that time, that lead over the last 50. But it looks like Sadie Hunter will still be leading when she turns from backstroke to breaststroke. Indeed she is, 2:23.75. The lead now under 3 seconds, so Summer Everson did take some off that lead. Summer Everson with the quickest backstroke, I would say. Tyler J. Thomas at the top of the screen is in 4th, and she had a pretty good backstroke leg there. Let's see what happens then over our 100 metres of breaststroke. Summer Everson, can she close the gap on our leader, Sadie Hunter? Lily Tappan, 2 lanes from the top of the screen. Looks like she's going very well for Corby, up into 3rd. So it's Sadie Hunter turning first. That lead now 2.4 seconds. And Lily Tappan turning in third place. Our two fastest breaststrokers at the moment, Lily Tappan in 8th and Alice Harper, who turned 4th there, in 6th. So that group of breaststrokers on the far side are making ground on everybody else here. Still Sadie Hunter leads. Summer Everson continues to close the gap. And Lily Tappan, I think, is going to be third when we get to the wall here as we turn from breaststroke to freestyle. Alice Harper will be third or fourth, I think just fourth. So Sadie Hunter's lead now in this heat, just over a second. As we go to freestyle, Summer Everson turning second. Lily Tappan was third there, Alice Harper fourth, and then Jemima Da Silva. 65 metres left to swim, and Summer Everson looks like she is getting ever closer to Sadie Hunter, who's been leading since the very start of this heat. What will happen on this final 50 of freestyle? Sadie Hunter's still looking pretty strong here, but Summer Everson was quicker. Katie won in lane 4, by the way, swimming faster than anyone else on this freestyle. She is currently in 6th place, but she's moving up the fields. And Summer Everson has now gone into first. So Summer Everson is going to win this heat. She's a 16 years swimmer. Summer Everson, what time will we get here? 5:08.54, that's the fastest time set by anybody so far. Sadie Hunter second in 5:09.36. Alice Harper 5:10.81. Let's have a look at our swimmers in the 13-14 age group and see who might have qualified for finals there. Tyler J. Thomas 5:17.83. I'm not sure if that will qualify yet. It's a wait and see time. And in the 15s, Alice Harper 5:10.81. She will definitely qualify for the 15s final with that. On to heat number 5. Eight swimmers in heat 5. Lanes 2 and 8 are empty. So we have Rihanna Foster for Kingston upon Hull. Then the empty lane, lane 8. Millie Wells for Ellesmere College Swimming Academy. Rosalie Anderson for City of Cardiff. Matilda Boyce for Bracknell and Wokingham. Elizabeth Grant for Tigers of Jersey. Martha Sell for City of Bristol. Another empty lane, lane 2. And the two swimmers closest to us are Molly Fisher for City of Manchester Aquatics and Amy Kenworth for Winsford. Millie Wells turning first. She's in the 17-18 age group. And Martha Sell was second at that turn. She's in the 19s and over. Third at the turn, Molly Fisher, 19s and over as well. We have two swimmers in the middle of the pool in the 13s and 14s age group. Matilda Boyce and Elizabeth Grant. 1 15-year swimmer in lane 6, Rosalie Anderson. So we'll keep you up to date with swimmers who qualify for finals as we go. Not much to choose between our two leaders after butterfly, Millie Wells and Martha Sell, both in 66 seconds for their 100 metres of butterfly. And now on the backstroke, Amy Kenworthy, closest to us, looks like she's swimming very strongly. So our leader is Millie Wells, then it's Martha Sell, Amy Kenworthy. Fourth in this heat at the moment is Molly Fisher. And then in lane 5, Matilda Boyce, who is leading our 13-14 swimmers in this heat, turning now in 5th place. Now, fastest backstroke at Millie Wells so far, increasing her lead then. But Matilda Boyce in lane 5 is swimming pretty quickly. She was 5th at that turn, and she's our 2nd fastest backstroke swimmer right now, Matilda Boyce, in lane 5. So she's getting back into this. Closing down on the swimmers ahead of her. We turn from backstroke to breaststroke. Millie Wells first there, 2:23.11. She increased her lead over the course of that backstroke. Oh, the breaststrokers come to the fore. And the order of swimmers changes, of course, over the breaststroke. Millie Wells still looking good on the breaststroke. Martha Sell, I think, coming through now to 2nd place. And Amy Kenworthy going pretty well in lane 0. That's the 1, 2, 3 at the moment. And Matilda Boyce up to 4th. Let's see then, compare the times. Matilda Boyce took 2 seconds off everyone else there. Matilda Boyce in the middle of the pool is coming through very strongly now in lane 5. 4th at that turn. And she's going to get right up among the leaders here when they turn to freestyle. Matilda Boyce going very strongly in lane 5. So she was 4th at the last turn. She's now probably 3rd, maybe 2nd now. And Matilda Boyce could even catch Martha Sell before we get to the turn from breaststroke to freestyle. Great breaststroke swimming here from Matilda Boyce, one of our 13-14 swimmers. She'll now be 2nd at the turn into freestyle. Our 2 leaders now are Martha Sell and Matilda Boyce, with Amy Kenworthy 3rd after that turn. In the lead, Martha Sell looks like she is holding off the challenge, and Millie Wells is fighting back on the far side of the pool on this freestyle leg. She's going to be right up among the top 4 as we turn for the final time. It's Martha Sell, then Amy Kenworthy, and Amy Kenworthy's going quicker than anyone else now on the freestyle. Matilda Boyce down to 3rd. Amy Kenworthy now taking the lead in lane 0. Great freestyle leg here from Amy Kenworthy. Martha Sell fighting to stay with her. Matilda Boyce is 3rd at the moment. And it will be Amy Kenworthy then to the wall first in 5:07.88, setting the fastest time so far. Season's best for Amy Kenworthy. 2nd at that at the touch was Martha Sell with a PB of 5:08.84. 3rd, Matilda Boyce, 5:09.27. She'll be in the 13-14 final with that time. And Rosalie Anderson, 5:19.41. We'll have to wait and see if that gets in the 15-year final. I think it probably will, but we've still got a few 15-year swimmers to come. Heat 6 now. Our 10 swimmers in Heat 6 are Rose O'Brien, Ella Smith, Lily Davis, Chloe Barnard, Kayla Wimble, Erin Perman, Alice Cumming, Lily Horton, Scarlett Davey and Evie Cutter. Rose in lane 9 swimming for Portsmouth Northsea, Ella in 8 for Northumberland and Durham Performance, Lily in 7 for City of Peterborough, Chloe for Basildon and Phoenix in 6, Kayla in 5 for Guildford City, Erin in 4 for Exeter City, Alice in 3 for City of Glasgow, Lily in 2 for Wirral Metro, Scarlett in 1 for Sevenoaks and Evie in 0 for Wigan Best. Alice Cumming was first at that turn in lane 3, followed by Erin Perman and Kayla Wimble. Our swimmers in this heat are spread across 4 age groups. Rose O'Brien at the top of the picture is in the 13-14 age group. We have one 15 years swimmer, that's Erin Perman in lane 5. We also have 4 16 year swimmers, Ella Smith in 8, Chloe Barnard in 6, Kayla Wimble in 5, and Evie Cutter in lane 0. And in lanes 3, 2 and 1, Alice Cumming, Lily Horton and Scarlett Davey, all in the 17s, 18s. Lane 3, Alice Cumming was leading, but I think she's now being overtaken by Erin Perman and Chloe Barnard. It looks like Perman will turn first here, halfway through the backstroke, followed by Barnard, and then Cumming, Cutter and Wimble. Our leader here, Erin Perman, in the 15 years age group. And second in lane 6, Chloe Barnard in the 16-year age group. Third at the moment looks like Alice Cumming, and then Kayla Wimble fourth. And fifth right now is Lily Davis as we turn from backstroke to breaststroke. Coming up maybe into fifth, Lily Horton. And even Evie Cutter in 0. Not much to choose between 5th, 6th and 7th there. Evie Cutter, Lily Davis and Lily Horton. Now Erin Perman with a long gliding breaststroke. Kayla Wimble in lane 5, looks like she may be closing in. Chloe Barnard also looks like she's going well on this breaststroke in lane 6. And Lily Davis in 7 with a higher stroke rate. Lane 1, Scarlett Davey coming through here on the breaststroke as well. Let's have a look at the split times then. Perman leading at the turn. Then Wimble, Davey and Davis. Scarlett Davey is the quickest breaststroker though, I would say. Up to third now. 2 lanes from the bottom of the picture. Scarlett Davey probably up to second right now. And closing in on our leader, Erin Perman. So Scarlett Davey 2 lanes from the bottom. I think swimming the fastest breaststroke. Lily Davis 3 lanes from the top. Looks like she's accelerating on this second 50th breaststroke as well. We're going to have 4 or 5 swimmers turning from breaststroke to freestyle very close together here. It's going to be Lily Davis first at that turn, then Scarlett Davey, Erin Perman, Kayla Wimble, Alice Cumming. I think Lily Davis probably overall had the quickest breaststroke leg, but now on the freestyle we give everything we've got. And it looks like Scarlett Davey in lane 1 and Lily Davis in lane 7 are our leading 2. Kayla Wimble in lane 5 has certainly fought her way up into the top 4 now. Evie Cutter as well in lane 0 now, up to 4th. And Evie Cutter on the near side. Looks like she is coming right back into this. She's up into 2nd, I would say now, and closing in on Scarlett Davey. So Evie Cutter going very well. Erin Perman looking smooth in lane 4 in the middle of the pool. I think Evie Cutter might just be ahead of her. Let's see as we get into the last 5. It's going to be Scarlett Davey. Evie Cutter is 2nd, and then Erin Perman finishes 3rd. Scarlett Davey, 5:06.96, our fastest time so far across all the heats. Evie Cutter, our 2nd quickest so far. And Erin Perman, 5:08.39. We've only had one faster time than that in the previous heat, so she's our 4th fastest swimmer so far. In terms of 15-year-old finals, though, Erin Perman, 5:08.39. She's our fastest swimmer so far from the 15 years category, and she qualifies for the 15s final. Rose O'Brien, 5:12.8. She qualifies for the 13-14 final there. On to heat 7. Our swimmers in heat 7 are Nuala Gow for University of Aberdeen, Charlotte Johnson for Swansea University, Constance Logan for Crawley, Amelia Fenner for Basildon and Phoenix, Lily Rose Carr for City of Lincoln Pentaqua, Emmy Aitken for University of Aberdeen, Maisie Brown for Rushmore Royals, Clara Guinness for Repton, Evangeline Belts for Plymouth College Aquatics, and Lydia Shipley for Middlesbrough. Amelia Fenner in 6 and Charlotte Johnson in 8, turning first and second. Charlotte Johnson just ahead there. Third at that turn was Lydia Shipley, then Constance Logan and Evangeline Belts. Our age groups in this heat, we have one 13-14 swimmer, that's Lydia Shipley in lane 0 closest to us. We have one 15 swimmer, Amelia Fenner in lane 6. In the 17s and 18s, we have Constance Logan in 7, Maisie Brown in 3, and Clara Guinness in 2. In the 16s, we've got lanes 4 and 5, Emmy Aitken and Lily Rose Carr. Everybody else in the 19s and overs. Our leader then, Charlotte Johnson. She's in the 19s and overs, as is Evangeline Belts, who is currently second. But those positions changing with Constance Logan, who's a 17s, 18 swimmer, looking like she's up into third place right now and looking good on this backstroke. So it's Charlotte Johnson, Evangeline Belts, Constance Logan, and then Clara Guinness. Constance and Clara both 17s, 18 swimmers. Amelia Fenner, the 15 swimmer, turning 5th there. And our 16 swimmers, Lily Rose Carr and Emmy Aitken, close together. 9th and 10th right now in this heat. It's Constance Logan who's going to be first then to turn from backstroke to breaststroke up in lane number 7. And second at the turn will be Clara Guinness in lane 2, followed by Charlotte Johnson in lane 8 there. So now things will settle down and our breaststrokers get their chance to shine. Charlotte Johnson, 2 lanes from the top, look like she is closing the gap on our leader, Constance Logan, right now. We'll get a better idea when we see the splits at this turn as to who is really moving through the field on breaststroke. First to turn then, Constance Logan. Our fastest breaststroker is Nuala Gow in the outside lane at the top of our picture. And then Maisie Brown in lane 3. They are the swimmers who are swimming quicker than anyone else on breaststroke right now, fighting their way through the field. So keep an eye on them because they will be climbing through as we go along here. Nuala Gow up into the lead. Great breaststroke swimming here from Nuala. And not only is she going to touch first, she's going to have quite a healthy lead going into freestyle. Then it's Evangeline Belts, followed into the turn there by Constance Logan. Maisie Brown had a good breaststroke leg. She's up into 4th place in lane 3. So Nuala Gow is our leader. And in second, Evangeline Belts in lane 1. Third, Constance Logan in 7. And 4th, Maisie Brown in 3. Come to the final turn there. Nuala Gow in the 19s and overs. Evangeline Belt also a 19s and overs swimmer. Third at that turn was Constance Logan. Remember, she's in the 17th, 18th age group. 8th and 9th of the turn there. Lily Rose Carr and Emmy Aitken, they're in the 16s. So we're keeping an eye on all of those times for potential final positions. Amelia Fenner, a 15-year swimmer in lane 6. She's going well too, even though she's 6th at the moment in this heat. Nuala Gow is going to touch first, I think, but it's going to be close. Only just by 5/100ths of a second ahead of Evangeline Belts. And I think both of those swimmers should qualify for the 19s and overs final with those times. So if they do, they get another chance to swim. We'll see them again later. Maisie Brown, 5:06.26. That should get in the 17-18 final. I think Constance Logan qualifies as well. Amelia Fenner, 5:08.6. Definitely qualifies for the 15 years final there. Lydia Shipley, 5:11.59. She's in the 13-14 final. And didn't quite get enough time to check whether we'll have qualifiers for the 16s. It does depend on what happens in the remaining heats. This is heat 8. Empty lanes here, so 8 swimmers competing. Eve Horton is in lane 8 for Wigan Best. Then in 6, that's Ivy Haggerty for Thanet. 5 is Sophie Brassington for Swansea University. Then it's Sophie King for Swindon Dolphin. Mari Gibson, City of Cardiff. Janie Finch, City of Leicester. Isabel Hall, City of Leeds. And Charlotte Thompson for Midlothian. First turn then, after 50 butterfly. Ivy Haggerty, followed by Charlotte Thompson, Janie Finch and Mari Gibson. In this heat, we have a 13-14 swimmer, Isabel Hall, 2 lanes from the bottom of the picture in lane 1, currently 10th, but the fastest swimmer at 13-14 years age group at this event this year. We have a 15-year-old swimmer, Janie Finch, who's the fastest 15-year swimmer in lane 2 this year. We have one 16-year swimmer, Sophie King, swimming in lane 4. 17s and 18s, we have Charlotte Cope in lane 9 at the top of the screen, Lexi O'Connor in 7, Ivy Haggerty in 6, Mari Gibson in 3, and Charlotte Thompson in 0. And we've got 2 swimmers in the 19s and over, Eve Horton and Sophie Brassington, who both could qualify for the 19s and overs final. Our leader then, Ivy Haggerty, in the 17s, 18s category. Janie Finch, I think our quickest backstroker though at the moment, in 2nd place, so she's going to probably close the gap over this final 50 of backstroke. The gap between our 2 leaders may well close before we turn to breaststroke. Let's see what happens. Going well, Eve Horton in lane 8 at the top of the picture as well. So in lane 6, Ivy Haggerty is going to turn first from back to breast. Touch with the hand before you turn onto your front. Second at the turn there was Janie Finch. Actually, Ivy Haggerty increased her lead. Sophie Brassington up to 4th then. That was a good backstroke swim from Sophie Brassington. And she's in lane 5. Our leader looking strong right now, Ivy Haggerty. And in lane 5, Sophie Brassington coming right up into contention. She's up into 2nd now. And I tell you what, she is closing in with every long gliding stroke. Looking very good in 2nd now, Sophie Brassington. Sophie was 3 seconds quicker than our leader, Ivy Haggerty, over that last 50. Took 3 seconds off the lead. And I think there's every chance that Sophie Brassington could even turn to freestyle first the way she's going here. And of course, Ivy Haggerty won't be able to see that Sophie Brassington is closing in. She might just see the fingertips in her peripheral vision now, and she'll definitely be able to see in her peripheral vision right now that Sophie Brassington has gone into first place. What a brilliant breaststroke leg this from Sophie. And she's got a lead of 1.8 seconds or thereabouts going into freestyle. Third at the turn, Sophie King, who's a 16-year swimmer. And Mari Gibson was fourth at that turn. She's in the 17s, 18s. Isabel Hall, eighth at that turn. She's a 13, 14 swimmer, remember. So we're keeping an eye on whether she can qualify for her final. Janie Finch, a 15-year swimmer as well. We're keeping an eye on all of those swimmers as we swim the final 100 metres of freestyle here. Sophie Brassington's lead was cut by 0.4 of a second by Ivy Haggerty over that last 50 of freestyle. I wonder if Ivy Haggerty can fight back here. They're in two different age groups, remember. Sophie Brassington 19s and overs, Ivy in 17s, 18s, and I think Ivy Haggerty is coming back strongly. Now we're in the last 25. It's going to be very close between these two. And Ivy Haggerty actually is going into the lead. And Ivy Haggerty is going to touch first. She's a 17-18 swimmer. 5:00.32. She qualifies for her final with that swim. Sophie Brassington 5:00.88 also qualifies for the 19s and overs final. Sophie King 5:06.95. She's our fastest 16-year swimmer and definitely gets in the 16 years final. We do have more 16-year swimmers to come. Janie Finch, 15 years, 5:14.33. That gets into the 15 years final for sure. And Isabel Hall, 5:13.36. She will swim again. She qualifies as one of our 10 fastest 13-14 swimmers with 5:13 points there. Heat 9, we have 3 more heats to come. And we have 9 swimmers here. Lane 9 is empty. In lane 8, Amber Rigg for Mount Kelly. Lane 7, Hazel Ann Carter for Wickham District. In 6 is Francesca Harrison for City of Leicester. 5, Millie Threlfall for City of Leeds. 4, Christina Schultz for Mount Kelly. 3 is Rachel Hornby for Swansea University. 2, Willow Harrison for City of Sheffield. So bear in mind we have 2 swimmers with the same surname, Harrison, when you look at the leaderboard. Lane 1, Lily Jackson Oates for Nova Centurion. And lane 0 is Darcy Platts for City of Leicester. So Darcy Platts turning first there in 31.57. And second at that turn was Millie Threlfall. In this heat we have 3 16-year-olds. Francesca Harrison in 6, Millie Threlfall in 5 and Willow Harrison in lane 2. We have 4 17-18 swimmers. Amber Rigg in 8, Hazel Ann Carter in 7, Christina Schultz in 4 and Darcy Platts in 0. And in lanes 3 and 1, Rachel Hornby and Lily Jackson Oates are 19s and overs swimmers. In this heat, 5 of our swimmers are in the top 10 as far as their entry times are concerned for their respective age groups. So they will be hoping to get into their finals with their performances here. The top 10 swimmers, of course, in each of the age groups qualify for the finals and come back in the evening to swim the events again for the medals. Hazel Ann Carter leading now from Darcy Platts. Hazel Ann Carter with the best backstroke there. Francesca Harrison in 6, also going well on this backstroke, excuse me. In lane 6, she's in 4th at the moment, but certainly closing in on swimmers in front of her. It looks like Hazel Ann Carter will turn first from backstroke to breaststroke. Hazel Ann in lane 7 then. You touch with your hand before you do your turn. Hazel Ann Carter ahead of Darcy Platts and Millie Threlfall. Amber Rigg in lane 8, furthest swimmer away from us, had a very good backstroke there. And now Amber Rigg on breaststroke looks like she's going very well. She's third at the moment and pushing Millie Threlfall in lane 5. That last heat, I can tell you that Isabel Hall qualified for the 13-14 final, Janie Finch for the 15s, Sophie King qualified for the 16s, Ivy Haggerty definitely qualified for 17s, 18s, and Sophie Brassington for the 19s and overs. Two heats still to come after this. Hazel-Ann Carter out in front then, but Darcy Platts is also swimming well in 0. And in lane 5, Millie Threlfall for City of Leeds in the yellow hat in the middle of the pool there. Hazel-Ann Carter will be first to turn to freestyle. Darcy Platts second. Hazel-Ann Carter actually increased her lead over that last 50 metres. Lily Jackson-Oates had a good breaststroke there. She's in lane 1, turning in 6th place. But she was very strong on that breaststroke. Hazel-Ann Carter then out in front. She's in the 17s and 18s category. The fastest time we've seen in that age group so far, 5:06.25. Darcy Platts in the same age group. Millie Threlfall in 3rd at the moment. She's a 16 years swimmer. Fastest 16s time we've seen so far, 5:06.94. So Hazel-Ann Carter will finish first in this heat. If she can get under 5:06.25, she'll be in her final, and she's going to do that comfortably. Hazel-Ann Carter with our fastest time so far. The first swimmer under 5 minutes. Darcy Platts qualifies for the 17-18 final with 5:01.76. Millie Threlfall, that's the fastest time so far for a 16-year-old. She qualifies for the 16-year final. In 4th place there, Willow Harrison. She also qualifies for the 16-year final with that time. Joint 4th there, Lily Jackson-Oates with a 5:06.32. That's a wait and see time for the final. Heat 10 now, we have 2 heats to come. And the swimmers in Heat 10 are Lacey Roberts for Plymouth College Aquatics, Evie O'Halloran-Hutchinson for Northumberland and Durham Performance, Holly Marshall for City of Cardiff, Petra Varga for Wirral Metro, Chloe Bound for Mount Kelly, Katie Lee for City of Salford, Abby Roscoe for Wirral Metro, Evie Mackey for South Lanarkshire, Annabelle Cook for City of Sheffield, and Neve Savoury for Newcastle. Chloe Bound for Mount Kelly is in lane 5, turning first here in 30.08 seconds. Second at that turn was Evie Mackey in lane 2. And let's have a look at the age categories for our swimmers in this heat. Well, we have 3 16-year swimmers in lanes 3, 2 and 1. Abby Roscoe, Evie Mackey and Annabelle Cook. 5 swimmers in the 17s and 18s. They are in 9 and 8. Lacey Roberts, Evie O'Halloran-Hutchinson, Petra Varga in 6, Katie Lee in 4 and Neve Savoury in 0. And then in 7, Holly Marshall, 19s and over, and in 5, Chloe Bound, also 19s and over. All 10 of the swimmers in this heat have set one of the 10 fastest times for any swimmer in their age group this year. So it's possible all 10 swimmers here could qualify for their respective finals. We will see. It will also depend on what happens in the final heat too. Our leader, Holly Marshall, swimming very well on this backstroke, quicker than anybody else so far, I'd say. Chloe Bound turning second there, but Katie Lee in lane 4, I think now overtaking Chloe Bound after the turn. So our leader is Holly Marshall, and then that group of 5 swimmers in the middle of the pool, that's Petra Varga, Chloe Bound, Katie Lee, and Abby Roscoe and Evie Mackey. First to turn to breaststroke, Holly Marshall in the 19s and overs. Second at the turn in the 17s, 18s, Katie Lee. Chloe Bound in the 19s and overs, third there. And fourth at the turn, Abby Roscoe, leading our 16-year swimmers in this heat. Long gliding stroke from our leader here, Holly Marshall. And now into second place comes Chloe Bound. And I would say third right now, Petra Varga in lane 6. See what order they turn here in. We've got 50 breast and 100 freestyle left to swim. It's Marshall, Bound, then Varga, Roscoe and Lee. Chloe Bound, though, has closed up on Holly Marshall's lead, taken something off the lead there over that last 50. And Abby Roscoe's going pretty well in lane 3 on the breaststroke here. Looks like she's up contending for third place. So our leader, Holly Marshall, and in second, Chloe Bound, I think getting closer to our leader with every stroke right now. Come into the turn from breaststroke to freestyle, and there won't be much between the two at that turn. Look at that, just over half a second. So Chloe Bound really closing up on that breaststroke. Annabelle Cook turning 7th, had a good breaststroke leg. She's in the 16-year category. We're going to try and get as many of these swimmers into their finals as possible now over the last 55 metres. Chloe Bound turning side by side with Marshall. Marshall just getting into the wall first there, followed by Petra Varga, Katie Lee and Abby Roscoe. Our leader, Holly Marshall. And it looks like there's a strong fight here from Petra Varga in lane 6. She's up to third. Into the last 10. Holly Marshall is going to qualify comfortably for the 19s and over final with that time, 4:55.6, fastest time so far. Chloe Bound in second place there. She will also qualify for the 19s and over final. Katie Lee, 4:57. She's into the 17s and 18s final with that time. Petra Varga, 4:57, also into the 17s, 18 final. Abby Roscoe, Evie Mackey and Annabelle Cook all qualifying for the 16 years final with those times. So well done everybody there. And now the final heat, heat 11. Swimmers in heat 11. Abby Mitchell for Swansea University, Chloe Cook for City of Sheffield, Anna Farrow for University of Bath, Emma Price for Northumberland and Durham Performance, Susie McNair for University of Stirling, Beatrice Varley for Plymouth College Aquatics, Ines Greenman-Beetham for Camden Swiss Cottage, Holly Robinson for Mount Kelly, Alice Forrest for Northumberland and Durham Performance, and Lily Freeman for Northampton. Turning first there, In lane 5, Susie McNair for University of Stirling, followed by Emma Price and Ines Greenman-Beetham. And now looking strong here, Susie McNair in lane 5. Once again, we've got 10 swimmers here who had set 10 fastest times for their age groups this year with their performances. Our leader here in lane 5, Susie McNair, she's in the 17s, 18s. The other 17s, 18s here, lane 8, Chloe Cook. Lane 6, Emma Price. Lane 3, Ines Greenman-Beetham. And lane 0, Lily Freeman. We have one 16-year swimmer, Alice Forrest, 2 lanes from the bottom of our picture in lane 1. And everybody else in the 19s and over. That's Abby Mitchell on the far side, Anna Farrow in lane 7, Beatrice Varley in 4, and Holly Robinson in lane 2. The last heat, I can tell you that the first 9 swimmers all qualified for short for finals. I wonder how many of these swimmers we can get in finals as well then in the final heat. Spread across 3 age groups. Susie McNair is our leader in lane 5. With Beatrice Varley second in lane 4 and Ines Greenman-Beetham in third right now. First to turn is Susie McNair, then Beatrice Varley and Ines Greenman-Beetham. Beatrice Varley's got the fastest backstroke leg there, so she really closed up, and now she goes into the lead on breaststroke, and Ines Greenman-Beetham looks like she may be going with her into second place. Lane 6 and 7, Emma Price and Anna Farrow going well, and in lane 8 too, Chloe Cook, all looking strong on this breaststroke. And in lane 2, Holly Robinson for Mount Kelly. But no doubt about the fastest breaststroker in the pool right now. That's Beatrice Varley moving up to turn first here. Ines Greenman-Beetham was a shade quicker than Varley over that last 50. And the very quickest breaststroker so far is Holly Robinson, who turned fourth there, and she's closing in on everybody else. So Holly Robinson, 3 lanes from the bottom of the picture, fourth at the moment, but probably swimming faster breaststroke than anyone else right now. Beatrice Varley, long gliding stroke. And Varley turning first, 3:47.17. Just over half a second ahead of Ines Greenman-Beetham. So 75 metres left to swim. Our 2 leaders are in 2 different age categories. Beatrice Varley in the 19s and over, Ines Greenman-Beetham in the 17s and 18s. We need to keep an eye on who will qualify for finals. I think our 2 leaders can be pretty confident that they are qualified with their pace so far. Greenman-Beetham finishing strongly. Remember, she's in the 17s and 18s. And she is going to comfortably get a place in her final. The fastest time we've seen so far has been 4:55.60. So Ines Greenman-Beetham sets the fastest time across all 11 heats, 4:54.85. She'll be the fastest qualifier in the 17s and 18s final. Beatrice Varley, 4:56.07. She'll be the second fastest qualifier. She'll get lane 5 in the 19s and overs final. Susie McNair, 4:59.09. Into the 17s and 18s final she goes. Our 16-year-old swimmer there, Alice Forrest, 5:04.24 will be our full fastest qualifier for the 16s final. She qualifies as well. Right down to Abby Mitchell there, 5:08.37. That's not going to get in the 19s final, I'm afraid. Liddy Freeman, 17 and 18s, 504.47. And I think that may be it, just in the final. Yep, I think Liddy Freeman, I think the 17s and 18s swimmers there all qualify for their final. The 19s, 20s, they all qualify for their final as well. It's just Abby Mitchell who I think may have missed out there with 508.37. So good swims there, everybody else. Men's 50 metres freestyle is next. And we have 10 heats with 3 swimmers in heat number 1. Our swimmers are Remy Mowbray for Amersham, Aidan Turner for Newcastle, and Ryan Hardy for Mount Kelly. And what a start this is from Ryan Hardy, looking very strong. He's a 17s, 18s swimmer. Aidan's in the 16 years age group, Remy Mowbray's in the 15s, and it's going to be a great swim here from Ryan Hardy, 24.16. Wow. Well, in terms of qualifying times, it's a new PB, but 24.16 would have put him in heat 6, one of our last 5 heats. So what a swim that is. Aidan Turner, 25.15 PB. Remy Mowbray, also with a PB there, 25.77. On to heat 2. Our swimmers in Heat 2 are Leo Talbot, Jack Morrison, Conor McCullen, Hayden Hall, Thomas Swales, Henry Shepherd, Mir Al-Dabak, Toby Hodgson, Sebastian Calver and Samuel Andrews. And Toby Hodgson swimming very well in lane 1 and going with him now in lane 3, Mir Al-Dabak. Sorry, Toby Hodgson's in 2, but it is those two going well. And in lane 0, Samuel Andrews coming through. 24.48, Toby Hodgson 24.88, Mir Al-Dabak 24.96. 24.48 for Samuel Andrews. First time he's gone under 25 seconds. Toby Hodgson 24.88. First time he's gone under 25 seconds as well. Well swum, those swimmers. On to heat number 3. An empty lane in lane 3, so it's Tarek Blook, Samuel Way, Alistair Giranella, Maximus Major, Edward Matheson, Cameron Haddo, and then the 3 swimmers closest to us, Alex Holmes, Achilles Bello-Amenyo and James Kilpatrick. It looks like Achilles Bello-Amenyo is leading here, but fighting back in lane 5 very well. Edward Matheson, as they go to the wall, it's Bello-Amenyo first, Cameron Haddo got second, and joint second, in fact. Alex Holmes and Cameron Haddo with the same time, 24.90, swimming in different age groups though. Edward Matheson 1/100th of a second behind those two, 24.91. On to heat 4. Referee will probably speak to Dylan Davenport. Sometimes if the referee is, or the starter has asked the swimmers to stand down, it isn't a faulty start. Well, Dylan Davenport's going back to the block. And he is going to swim. So we'll have 9 swimmers in this heat. And those 9 swimmers are Samuel Hall, then we've got the empty lane. It's Thomas Bickford, Harry Cook, Killian Bramham, Ralph Saricki, Dylan Davenport, Andrew Hunter, Oliver Murray and Morgan Davis. And in lane 4, looking very strong here, Ralph Saricki just taking his first breath after about 30 metres, Ralph. And now fighting back as well in lane 2, I think. Looking very strong. Andrew Hunter gets second, but it's Ralph Saricki in 24.38. Very good swim there for Ralph Saricki to win that heat. Ralph's time 24.38, and you can see the spread of age groups. Andrew Hunter's in the 16 years age group with 24.59. There were PBs for both of those first 2 swimmers. Our swimmers in Heat 5 are Owen Wilson, Monty Smith, Benedict McCarthy, Harry Chandler, Ben Uff, Solomon Silverstone, Lachlan Small, Benjamin Roberts, Damien Cratchit-Trigger and George Bailey. And in lane 5, Ben Uff's going very well, and I think he's actually increasing his lead. This is a very, very good swim in lane 5 from Ben Uff. He's going to have quite a considerable winning margin here. 23.85. Wow. A huge PB. By 0.6 of a second. Ben Uff is in the 17s and 18s age group. 15-year swimmers there. Damien Cratchit-Trigger will get in the 15s final with that time. George Bailey will also qualify for the 15 years final with that swim. On to Heat 6. And in Heat 6, we have Colton Dorfeld, Benjamin Dale Wood, Jacob Ray, Nebi Sengula, Eamon Jaridi, Sam Smith, Kashopi Obatayimbo, Archie Tebbett, Laurel Roberts-Burrell, and Aaron Bissett. In lane 4, Sam Smith going strongly, and in lane 3, Kashopi Obatayimbo. I think he's finishing stronger than anyone else in the pool. It's Obatayimbo in lane 3, 23.48 seconds. Kashopi's in the 15-year age group. That qualifies him for the final. Brilliant swimming there. Sam Smith, 23.89. We've still got lots of 17 and 18 swimmers to come. Archie Tebbett, 24.22. That gets in the 15 years final. Nebi Sengula, 24.98. I'm not sure if that's going to qualify for sure yet. That's right on the borderline for a place in the 15 years final. On we go to heat number 7. Our swimmers here in heat number 7 are Ethan Richards-Knights, Benjamin Davis, Magnus Morris, Ben Gooch, Finley Sang, Jake France, Alessandro Donofrio, Logan van der Meulen, Joshua Parker and Olivia Gillett. And coming into the wall very strongly in lane 7 here, it's Magnus Morris reaching for the wall. He was second, in fact. Logan van der Meulen getting there first in 23.54 seconds. Magnus Morris with 23.54. 23.66. Not to be sniffed at. Two really good times there from our first two swimmers. 16-year-old swimmer we have in there is Joshua Parker, 24.21. He'll be in the final with that. The 17s and 18s we'll have to wait and see. We've still got plenty of 17s and 18s to come. Here comes Heat 8. Our swimmers then in Heat 8. Alfie Price, Amel Delanin, Alan Venables, Joseph Way, Freddie Ashley Sparks, Aidan Simons-Brown, Matthew Hamilton, Zachariah Dale, Lachlan Parrott and Cheng Zi Duan. In lane 4, Aidan Simons-Brown going very well, and Freddie Ashley Sparks in 5. And in 7, Alan Venables also. That's the 1, 2, 3. Ashley Sparks, Simons-Brown and Venables. 23.02, the fastest time we've seen so far from Freddie Ashley Sparks. We've got a 16-year-old swimmer in there, Alfie Price, 23.90. That gets in the 16s final. Well done to him. 17s and 18s, I think we've got some qualifiers there. Go on to Heat 9. We have 2 heats left to come. In Heat 9, Zach Cooper, Harry Milne, Harry Robinson, Nicholas Finch, Dan Jones, Jordan Cooley, Gabrielle Shepherd, Rio Dowdo, Ethan Soppett-Moss and Harry Sharp. Strong arm stroke, straight arm stroke from Dan Jones in lane 5, but Jordan Cooley I think overtaking him in lane 4 in the last 20 metres. It looks like it's going to be Cooley and then Jones. And third there was Rio Dowdo, 22.63 seconds. The winning time there. Brilliant, brilliant swimming over 50 metres of freestyle that. Let's have a look. We've got a 16-year-old there, Ethan Soppett-Moss, 23.67. He qualifies for the 16s final with that. 17s and 18s. Well, we definitely get Harry Milne, Gabriel Shepherd. They both qualify there. So too does Rio Dowdo. Everybody else we're waiting to see. Final heat, Heat 10. In Heat 10, we have Elliot Arnell, Samuel Sutcliffe, Jensen Norris, Thomas Watkin, Ji Gong, Abdul-Jabbar Adama, Calvin Fryer, Aidan Cannon, Luke Tunstall and Christian Gale. And Abdul-Jabbar Adama looking strong in 4, also going well in 6. We are moving on to women's 50 metres backstroke next. Try and calculate for you the finalists from that last heat though very quickly before we start. Don't think we're quite going to have time unfortunately. Women's 50 metres backstroke, 10 heats to come and this is Heat 1. Swimmers in Heat 1 are Clementine Lovell for Mount Kelly, Abigail Crawford for City of Glasgow, Lily Rose Carr for City of Lincoln Pentaqua, and Emily Hall for Warrington Warriors. Emily's a 15-year swimmer, and everybody else in this heat in the 16 years category. Lily Rose Carr emerging as our leader, with Clementine Lovell in second. As we go into the last 5 metres, it looks like they will be first and second. They reach for the wall. And Lily Rose Carr gets a new PB, 31.28 seconds. Clementine Lovell with 31.58. And third there, Abigail Crawford, 32.14. Emily Hall in the 15 years setting the fastest 15-year time, of course, so far, 32.24. Here's heat 2. We have 9 swimmers in this heat. Lane 9 is empty. It's Kate Roberts for City of Liverpool, Lois Smith for Basildon and Phoenix, Emily Collins for Guildford City, Lily O'Neill for Stockport Metro, Isabel Mather for City of Cambridge, Megan Daniel for Carradom, Abby Turnbull for Carlton Forum, Charlotte Pound for Putteridge, and Tuman Rachel Ho for City of Birmingham. In lane 6 looking good here, Emily Collins, and in lane 4 now coming through, Isabel Mather. I think they'll be the first 2 to touch the wall. It's Mather with 30.62, then Collins 30.66. And third there was Megan Daniel in 30.78 seconds. Now second and third swimmers there in the 15-year age group. So we keep an eye on all of the age groups as we go through the heats and figure out, wherever possible, who has qualified for finals. Mather with the fastest time so far, 30.62, on to heat 3. Starters ask the swimmers to stand down. No faulty start. We'll go through the start procedure again. Our swimmers in this heat are Megan Ormiston, Camille Vanier, Lucy McLeod, Honor Fox, Lucy Douglas, Robin Fitzhenry, Sadie Warmington, Grace McDonald, Amelia Izzet and Gwen Salmon. Gwen Salmon had a great start, and now Grace McDonald, I think in lane 2, may be our leader. As we get to the flags in the last 5 metres, it's Grace McDonald, I think, and then Lucy Douglas as they go for the wall. And it is in that order. McDonald 30.81, Douglas 31.12. Camille Vanier was third there with 31.24. Those 3 swimmers are in 3 different age groupings. We'll keep an eye on times for qualifying for finals. As I have to remind you, for the full qualification and confirmation of finalists, you have to go to the Aquatics GB website for the full results service. Here's heat 4. Our swimmers in heat 4, Jessica Hill, Erin Gent, Tuminuna McKinday, Erin Ferris, Millie Wells, Abigail McInerney, Megan Titchener, Jessica Gable, Eloise Howarth and Sarah Dew. And going well in lane 8 here is Erin Gent. And in lanes 1 and 2, Eloise Howarth and Jessica Gable. As we reach for the wall then, it's Erin Gent first in 30.80. Second, Jessica Gable, 30.91, and third, Eloise Howarth. Again, these swimmers in varying age groups. We've got too many swimmers to come at the moment to say whether anybody's qualified for finals just yet. And that goes for all age groups. We'll start to get an idea now as we move on to heat 5. 6 heats to come. Our swimmers here are Alexandra Nerney, Isla Wetton, Charlotte Gower, Annabelle Neal, Grace Nichols, Martina Karabach, Erin Barber, Elizabeth Curfey, Charlotte Smith and Georgia Holgate. What a start in lane 6 from Annabelle Neal, going very strongly. And in lane 0, Georgia Holgate, looking very good here. But Annabelle Neal, I think, is holding on to her lead, and she's dragging along with her Grace Nichols and Charlotte Gower either side. Annabelle Neal will touch first. 30.31, then Grace Nichols in 30.77 and Charlotte Gower in 30.82. Annabelle Neal there with 30.31 in the 15 years age group, beating Grace Nichols in the same age group. Charlotte Gower, a 16-year swimmer, with 30.82 seconds. Now we're on to heat 6. 5 heats to come. In heat 6 are Jessica Kirkwood, Sadie Roberts, Eve Whitney. We have lane 6 empty. It's Nicole Maynard, Zara Kraviec, Heather Clubb, Bethan Cook, Isabel Smith and Amy Jones. And Eve Whitney is going faster than anybody else right now. And Sadie Roberts looking very good in lane 8 as well. They're our first and second swimmers on the far side of the pool. Great swims from both of them. Finishing strongly in lane 2, Bethan Cook as well. It's Whitney, Roberts and then Cook there. 29.99 the time for Eve Whitney. Starting to get an idea of who's qualifying for finals now. Eve Whitney, 29.99, will definitely be in the 17s and 18s final with that swim. Bethan Cook will have to wait and see. On to heat 7. Our swimmers here are Evelyn Hallisey, Amelie Smith, Emma Wood, Tegan Matthews, Heidi Wren, Kate Schillinger, Astrid Fassius, Isabel Liptrot, Jessica Huggins and Aoife Dwight-Clark. And there was a problem there at the start for Kate Schillinger, which is a shame. It's not going to be possible to fight back after that, unfortunately. In lane 8, Amelie Smith looks like she's going very strongly for Royal Tunbridge Wells Monson. And finishing well in lane 2, Isabel Liptrot. It's Amelie Smith first, then Liptrot second. In fact, joint second with Emma Wood, 30.21 for Emma. Great race that. Very close between our leading swimmers. And a really good swim that from Amelie Smith. For 17s and 18s, we definitely get qualifiers there for both Isabel Liptrot and Emma Wood. And Tegan Matthews, I would think. Our swimmers in heat number 8 are Amber Rigg, Connie Davis, Evangeline Pierce, Fenella Woodis, Caitlin Ebbage, Ella Justice, Rhea Harrand, Marie Woods, Fionn Humphreys and Holly Waymond. And lane 1, Fionn Humphreys is going well. Ella Justice in 4 as well. We've got some strong finishes in 2 and 3 for Marie Wood and Rhea Harrand, but it's Ella Justice first, then Fionn Humphreys, followed by Raya Harand and Marie Woods. A winning time there, 29.47 for Ella Justice in the 17s and 18s. She'll qualify for the final there. Fionn Humphries qualifies as well. Raya Harand will qualify too. Fenella Woodis will qualify for the 17s, 18s final there as well. Here's Heat 9. Have an empty lane in lane 5, so it's Scarlett Shepherd, Hannah Murphy, Gina Warrior, Hallie Harris, Neve Ward in 4, Isabel Price, Annabelle Compton, Nellie Kinch and Charlotte Jezard. And 3 lanes from the top, Gina Warrior going very well. I think Hallie Harris now going into first place in lane 6. And in 4 going very well, Neve Ward actually finishing very strongly. It's between Ward and Harris. Ward gets there first, Harris second, and third was Isabel Price in lane 3. Great swims there. Neve Wards. We'll have to wait and see for the 19s and overs, I think, with that time 29.26, but you would expect to qualify with that. Hallie Harris, 29.64. Probably in the final for 17s, 18s. Isabel Price, 16-year-old there, 29.77. And Scarlett Shepherd, 30.21. We'll get in the 15s final. Final heat then, heat 10. Our swimmers here are Eloise Cole, Anna Green. Empty lane is lane 7. Molly Garrett, Sophie de Groots, Blythe Kinsman, Emilia Maliocco, Mia Collier, Lily Grover and Martha Stead. Blythe Kinsman out in front and dominating here from lane 4. Sophie de Groot going with her as well. And third at the moment, I would say, is Emilia Maliocco. It's Blythe Kinsman, Sophie de Groot, then Maliocco. Lily Grover finishing 4th there, 29.93. Well, Blythe Kinsman with the fastest time we've seen across these heats by some distance there, 28.02. Sophie de Groot's 29.13, our second fastest time, so they'll both be in lane 4 in their respective finals. Emilia Maliocco, 29.74. Well done everybody there. We have men's 50 metres freestyle mixed classification to come next, and this is spread over 2 heats. Three swimmers in Heat 1. Jacob Wood for Gloucester City, Owen Say for Bracknell and Wokingham, Bruce D for Northampton. And we're swimming in 3 different classifications here. Jacob Wood in S9, Owen Say in S8, Bruce D in S6. It's the points totals that determine who qualifies for finals, the 10 highest point scores, and we have 11 swimmers entered. Jacob Wood, 29.14. And that's worth 551 points. Owen Say, 30.60, worth 5.66 in the S8 classification. But Bruce D scoring the highest there with 660 points for 32.80 in the S6 classification. We have 8 swimmers competing in Heat 2. Remember, we're swimming for 10 places in the final. 11 swimmers competing. Everyone who gets over 660 points in this second heat will qualify for the final then. And the 8 swimmers in the pool are Matthew Redfern for Worcester, Rowan Brennan for Basildon and Phoenix, Kieran Williams for Newquay Cormorants, Thomas Navarro-Barber, Portsmouth Northsea, Alfie Penfold for Crawley, Ryan Crouch for Devon, Kai Bradford for Killer Wales and Bjorn Sebastian Iron for South Lanarkshire. The swimmers are arranged so that the fastest swimmer is on the furthest side of the pool in the para-swimming heats. And so first to the wall is Matthew Redfern, 26.07 seconds. And that will be the highest point score, 705. Matthew, the only swimmer to get over 700 points in the heats then. Second highest point score, Thomas Navarro-Barber with 677. Then Rowan Brennan, 657, and Kai Bradford. Remember, we had 660, 566, and 551 in the previous heat. So all 8 of those swimmers qualify. And from the previous heat, Bruce D and Owen Say will be in the final. Jacob Wood was the unlucky swimmer to score 551, the lowest total of the 11, and won't get a chance to swim the event again this evening. Everybody else comes back for the final. And now we have 2 heats of women's mixed classification 200 metres individual medley. And in heat 1 we have 8 swimmers competing. Swimmers here are Megan Willis for Torfin Dolphins Performance, Evie Lambert for Borough of Kirklees, Brooklyn Hale for Cockermouth, Scarlett Humphrey for Northampton, Constance Ratley for Mount Kelly, Eliza Humphrey for Northampton, Iona Winifred for Tunbridge, and Grace Harvey for Manchester Performance Centre. We have a total of 18 swimmers entered for this. The 10 highest point scorers qualify for the final. So at the moment we're swimming for places in the final. Evie Lambert turning first from butterfly to backstroke. 1 length of each stroke, of course. Butterfly, backstroke, breaststroke, freestyle. That's the order that we swim in. And it looks like Evie Lambert in lane 7, just leading ahead of Megan Willis in 8 and Brooklyn Hale in 6. 4 of these swimmers are in the SM9 classification. Megan Willis in 8, Evie Lambert in 7, Brooklyn Hale in 6, and Constance Ratley in 4. 2 SM11 swimmers, Scarlett and Eliza Humphrey in 5 and 3. Iona Winifred, SM7 in lane 2, and Grace Harvey in lane 1 is SM6. So their times will be measured on different scales to determine the points. And it will be the 10 highest point scorers of the 18 swimmers entering who will qualify for our final. So Our first three swimmers here, they're all in the SM9 classification. Evie Lambert just ahead of Megan Willis and Brooklyn Hale. Brooklyn Hale, a 15-year-old swimmer. So she's going very well here against two older swimmers. But they're all swimming at a good pace. Evie Lambert turning first to freestyle, then Brooklyn Hale, then Megan Willis. Scarlett Humphrey for SM11 classification turning fourth. Constance Ratley for SM9 in fifth. Iona Winifred turning sixth there, SM7 classification. And Brooklyn Hale finishing very strongly here. The 15-year-old for Cockermouth. An SM9 swimmer looking very good now as we get to the last 10 metres. We're looking for something around 750 points, I would say here. Maybe even higher. 807 for Brooklyn Hale. Evie Lambert, 784. Megan Willis, 759. Scarlett Humphrey has the highest score of anyone so far, 787 for her time of 250.83 in SM11. Now watch Iona Winifred. Is she going to get an even higher score still? She does. 818. Brooklyn Hale with 807. And Grace Harvey, 314.05, scores 734. Eliza Humphrey, 594 points for a time of 307.64. Constance Ratley scored 667 for a time of 254.76. And once the judges have checked the goggles of our visually impaired athletes to make sure they show no light, then we will get the official result. So it does take a few extra seconds. And when we get the official result, the swimmers will be lined up in order of points scored. So it won't be the times, it will be points scored. And remember, the 10 highest point scorers qualify for our final. So the result will be official when the referees signal that they've checked the goggles for Scarlett Humphrey and Eliza Humphrey. And when they signal that, we will get the result confirmed. So that is why we have a short delay after heat one. Here comes our results. Iona Winifred with 818, Brooklyn Hale 807, Scarlett Humphrey 787, Evie Lambert 784, Megan Willis 759, Grace Harvey with 734, Constance Ratley with 667, and Eliza Humphrey with 594. 10 swimmers go in heat two. And the 10 swimmers in this heat are Poppy Maskill for Manchester Performance Centre, Bethany Firth for Newcastle, Olivia Newman-Baronius for Maxwell, Faye Rogers for University of Aberdeen Performance, Georgia Sheffield for Bolton Metro, Sienna Oxby for Stockport Metro, Brock Whiston for London Disability, Alice Tye for Ealing, Astrid Carroll for Stockport Metro, and Amber Haycock for Northampton. And you can see that pattern. Swimmers on the far side of the pool expected to set the fastest times, and then gradually across the pool, slightly slower with each lane, and that's where they're expected to finish at the end of the race, in that order, lane 9 through to lane 0. So anybody who breaks that pattern has had a good performance as a general rule of thumb. So you could say that Bethany Firth in lane 8 is swimming well right now, and the same can be said for Faye Rogers and Georgia Sheffield in 6 and 5. First to turn then, from back to breaststroke, Bethany Firth, followed by Poppy Maskill, then Faye Rogers, Georgia Sheffield, Olivia Newman-Baronius, Sienna Oxby was 6th at that turn, then Amber Haycock, Alice Tye, Astrid Carroll. Brock Whiston has just turned in lane 3. So leading Bethany Firth with About 10 metres left until we turn to freestyle. And coming back, Poppy Maskill and Faye Rogers. And also looking very good in 7, Olivia Newman-Baronius. The 3 swimmers furthest from us are SM14 swimmers. Faye Rogers, SM10. Moving up into 2nd place now. Faye Rogers is already selected for World Championships, which take place in September. And our leader here, Bethany Firth, in lane 8. Is she going to hold on to touch the wall first? She does, 855 points. Faye Rogers scores even higher, 905 with a time of 2:29.73. Georgia Sheffield with 758 points. Sienna Oxby, 699 for her swim. Astrid Carroll scores 688. So we'll wait for the full results to be confirmed because we'll have to judge. We'll have to have the judges inspect the goggles before everything is confirmed. I think from heat number 1, Iona Winifred will qualify. Brooklyn Hale will qualify. Scarlett Humphrey, I think, will qualify as well. There is the list, the result of heat 2. And I think Sienna Oxby, Ashford Carroll and Amber Haycock will probably miss out on the final. I think our first 7 swimmers there will all make it. In fact, I think Georgia Sheffield is going to miss out, you know. So the first 6 will qualify, plus 4 from heat number 1. We now have a swim-off for the first reserve place in the men's 50 metres freestyle. Magnus Morris and Christian Gale going head-to-head. These 2 set times of 23.66 in the heats, and that made them joint 11 in the men's 17s and 18s years. So let's see if we can get them both under 23.66 now. That would be brilliant. Magnus Morris for Sterling Swimming, I think, overtaking Christian Gale right now, but it's going to be right down to the touch. 23.62 and 23.63. Wow. 1/100th of a second apart. And they were 4 and 3/100ths of a second quicker than they swam in the heats, respectively. Great swimming. So if anybody pulls out of the final, Christian Gale will get their place. And Magnus Morris will be our second reserve. He'll only get in the final if we have 2 withdrawals. So that's really good swimming in that swim-off from both. Well done there. That concludes our heat session for this morning. So thank you very much for supporting the athletes by tuning in. Our next session, well, that comes up at 1 p.m. So in just over an hour and a quarter, we'll have women's 800 metres freestyle to come. So please come back and join us for that at 1 p.m. Women's 800 freestyle is our next session. And we hope to see you then.